Sorry that I'm late, but I'm here now. Good morning, good morning. It's the Last Minute Laura show. Good morning, good morning. Hello, sorry that we have a webcam camera again. Welcome back. I know normally we've got a like a camera, but for some reason today, the camera cables all decided not to work. So we're back on a lovely old webcam. So good morning. I washed my hair last night and went to bed with wet hair. And this is what happens to me if I do that. So we have a little bit of a stress to start off the morning. But what are you gonna do? Such is life. So last stream in the old house gets to be more similar to the first stream in the old house. Good morning, friends. If you're new here, hello. I'm Laura. This is the Last Minute Laura morning show. We get together Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays to chit chat, hang out, start our day. It's poofy, Laura. Look great anyhow, girl. Thanks. I feel mildly irritated. Alex and I tried for 15 minutes to sort out our camera. But we even tried a different camera. We tried Alex's photography camera instead of my vlog camera for the stream, but it was not to be. Whoa, naked lady in the forest. What? What are you talking about? I'm not a naked lady. I have an outfit on. But good morning. Let me see who else is here. Kyla, good morning. Elsie, good morning. Louisa, Candace, good morning. Who else is here? Rue, good morning. Nice to see you. Did I say Mary Grace? Mary Grace, good morning. Good morning, sewing. Maddie, good morning. Nice to see you this morning. Louisa, good morning. Joy, good morning. Nice to see you this morning. The universe said you gotta do it the other way for old time's sake. It pretty much, yeah. Your shawl looks cute. Thank you. I put it on Outlander style. So I had my long skirt on and then I was putting this on like a scarf and it was too warm and I was like, ooh, I'll wear it like a shawl. And then when I had it like a shawl, I was like, oh, I'll tie it on the back and then I am Outlander, people. So here's me being in, I guess, old-timey vibes. But it's just a triangle scarf tied around me. Anyway, if you're new here, don't forget to like the video, don't forget to subscribe. And if you're not new here, then I hope that you already hit the like button and subscribed. Oh my god, my skin is breaking out like crazy. Tractor. Sorry, I can hear noise. Love that mug, Laura. Me too. It's one of my favorites, which is why it's not packed, because this one's coming with us as like an active in-use mug. All of my other mugs are packed. As you can see here, there's almost nothing in this room right now, just a few things that need packing, like I have a tea cart. It's antique. It's my grandma's. And, oh, good morning, Frida. Nice to see you. Your hair is fantastic. Well, thank you. It's, you know, it's the way that it is. But I have my tea cart, I have my mannequin, I've got my incubator, I've got Thunder's dog bed, and I've got a basket full of pens. Those things, I haven't figured out where I'm packing them yet. Also, I brought in the rest of my perennials. I dug up all of the perennials yesterday, excuse me. I dug up all my perennials. Ooh, that needed repotting. So my elephant ears, my geraniums, and I also did all of the succulents that are in my, it's fantastic, thank you, Frida. If I disappear, it's because I'm expecting a call from the doctor. I cut part of my thumbnail and nail bed off last night and I don't know what to do. Yikes. I wish that you could just text a photo. Should I do something about this? Like if you're FaceTiming them, hey, should I do anything about this? That's the naked lady, Laura, you're funny. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's my naked lady. Oh, in the forest, I see, behind the tree. I cut off 2 leaves yesterday off of my bird of paradise to try and make it a smaller plant, and it did. It shrunk it a lot, and yet still it's a large plant. So that's going to be a fun thing to move. I also went around to all of the gardens yesterday. For those of you that are new here, I'm moving like in 2 days. And I filmed a video yesterday, and I filmed a video the day before, and I filmed a video the day before of me doing tutorials instead of packing. I did do some packing also. Yeah, you want to come sit? Well, I don't have anything to work on, so you can come sit. Sorry for those of you who come here. Come here. Come here. Who come here to watch me crochet. Come here, you gotta help. I can't reach you, low on the ground. Who come here to watch crochet. Today is not that day. I don't have any of my crochet stuff. It's all packed. So that's what's happening today. Lita, good morning. Nice to see you. Mary Grace, room okay. It's just very sensitive. I don't know if they'll have any suggestions on what to do and if I need to get another tetanus shot. Ugh. If you've already gotten a tetanus shot, you don't need to get isn't a tetanus shot good for a bit? I feel like it's good for a while. We're doing recall training with sausages and hope she'll learn 100 recall in 2 days. Oh my god. 100% recall in 2 days. Frida, I bet she will. When push comes to shove, I'm sure Millicent is going to be awesome. I think. Also, yesterday, it was not raining, so it's going to rain all day today, and all day tomorrow, and all day Sunday, so our move is going to be a rainy one. But yesterday it wasn't raining, so I went through the garden. Careful, dude. I went through the garden and I collected everything that I could that was ready for harvest. Obviously, there's some kale and stuff like that that will just keep growing because kale doesn't need to get ripped out or anything. I didn't pull anything out of the garden. I pulled a few nasturtium plants out of the garden just so I could collect the seeds because I still haven't done the pickle, but I think I can do that at my new home. I think that it's only going to need like 1 pot on the stove to make the brine, and then the whatchamacallits are the nasturtium seeds. They fit in 1 basket, so I don't think I need to get it done today or tomorrow, so I think I can do that at the new place. So I'm not feeling rushed about that. Maddie, what are you going to do with the plants behind you? I'm bringing them with me. I'm bringing them all with me, Maddie. I don't know where they're going to go yet, but I am bringing them with me, so I'm really hopeful that we'll be able to find a home for all of them in the house. I mean, we are moving into another house, and the house has no plants in it, because my grandpa's an older gentleman. We're moving in with my grandpa, for those of you who didn't know. There's a whole drama around the fact that my house that we're living in right now, our house on a farm, is being sold, but it's being sold for around $3 million, which is obviously totally out of our price range. Alex and I rent this place, and $3 million is just not even on the table in terms of what we would be able to afford for a house. We would be looking more at like $500,000. So this is like 6 times the price that we would be able to afford. So it's not happening. So we're moving, and we're moving into my grandpa's house because our intention is to A, help out, and B, save money. So we're going to save money so that we can either buy a house or so that we can get just ahead a little bit. But yeah, yikes. But since he's like 90, he doesn't have a ton of plants anymore. Watching Rise Against videos back in action. Hello everyone. Rise Against. I haven't heard Rise Against in a while. Aw, such a good vibe. Candace, well, I don't think anyone dies from veggies in your wound, or I'm sure Frida would not be here. Lol. The thing is, the other dogs and trainers don't have to do the test in their actual problem spot. I hate shopping malls. The other person needs help with picking up stuff. Right. So, that's not ideal. Mary Grace, it's good for 10 years, but if you get poked with rusty things, it's good to get a booster just in case. The knife wasn't rusty, but it was dirty because I was chopping veggies. I'm sure at chopping veggies, as long as it's not deep enough to require stitches, I feel like you could just put a Band-Aid on it over the daytime, and then at night, take your Band-Aid off, let it air out overnight. Usually when I get a really deep cut on any part of my hand, it's like Band-Aid during the day, air it out during the night for like 4 days, and then your skin will start to piece itself back together, unless you need stitches. Honestly, I've had several cuts though that I should have gotten stitches, and Mary Grace, I didn't get stitches because I was afraid to get stitches, and the cuts healed just fine. I mean, I have scars on my hands, but come on, like, I'm not a hand model. And I rip off all my fingernails anyway, and I have hangnails all the time, so I'm not really too worried about it. So, no harm in getting a doctor's opinion if you're worried, though, obviously. If you're worried about it and it hurts, yeah, do have a doctor have a look. But I mean, like, me, usually when I look at it, I'm like, it would only need 2 stitches. I feel like I can hold that together. If it needed like 6 stitches, okay, but if I only had like 2 needed, like 2 stitches that were needed, I'm trying to look for the one on my hand. I have like a really good scar. Do you see? I have so many little scars on my fingers that I'm trying to find the one that, like, I have one that goes from the knuckle, the first knuckle on my finger all the way to my nail bed, and that one was very deep. And when it happened, I was like, but it's on a bend, like it was this way, so it doesn't really get, like, problems. Like, if it was this way, then when I'm bending, it would open each time, but it was it was perpendicular. So I was like, hey, it's not really gonna open. So, no stitches there. The other service dogs are more the help of physically disabled persons, so they don't get panic attacks in the malls. I'm at a bit of a disadvantage. Yeah, do you get to have Ola there with you, though, or do you have to do it all by yourself? Super glue makes great stitches, except for the stinging. Ow. Lol, only had to do that a couple times. Yeah, you only do it a couple times before you're like, I need to be more careful because that stings when you put super glue in a cut. Ugh. Laura, you must make or get a cornucopia for the beautiful harvest I see. I think that sounds like a nice idea. Can I show you all of the beautiful things that I have here? Because there is quite a lot of food that I pulled out of the garden yesterday. I got all the rest of the butternut squashes out, and oh my gosh, look how cute these are. I know they're little, but like they're yellow, which means they're like finished. Like butternut squash, this is not a ripe butternut squash. Obviously, I'm probably gonna end up eating it anyway. But butternut squash, when it looks like this, isn't done. It's supposed to be all like a warm beige. Here's a ripe color. They're not big. Again, these are not big because these are like the end of the season butternut squashes. Excuse me. So they're not big, but they're still fine. Still good to eat. Here's what a ripe one looks like. You can see it's kind of got this warm yellow. See how this one's kind of still green and pale yellow? So this one's not ready. I feel like I'll probably just use this one for decoration and then let this one go to the animals. Again, I'm sure you could eat it. I don't think there's anything poison in an early butternut squash, but whatever. These ones are the ones I'm going to actually be eating, though. All of the rest of the butternut squash, like the other 30 that I had, I took them to my parents' house and I just put them on their farm stand because I'm not going to move with 30 butternut squash. So butternut squash is now on my parents' farm stand. But I've got these little ones, which are cute, so I'll use them for decor around my grandpa's house. But look at how cute these two are. First of all, look at this little booty. Cute little one. And then look at this teensy weensy one. Isn't that so cute? I love it. I love them. They're so cute. They're just meal-sized. Okay, well, yeah, pretty much. These ones are gonna get eaten anyway. But I've got these cute little ones. Oh yeah, they are. It's like pear-sized for sure. So 2 little cute ones, which I picked even though obviously they're like, but they ripened. Like that one's the color of a ripe butternut squash. They're not gonna happen. Yeah, pumpkin booty. That's what I thought when I saw it. I was like, little booty on it. So cute. Also, my sweet potatoes, you guys. Do you remember how excited I was to tell you about how my sweet potatoes happened? Kira loved playing with the baby squashes last fall. Laura loved playing with the baby squashes last fall. For those of you that are just showing up, sorry about the quality of the stream this morning. My camera didn't want to work, so we are back on the old webcam. Please like the video and just let the L happen. I'm just moving more center so that I can reach the other stuff. Gosh, I'm like disheveled. My skin has decided to just lash out at me for some reason. I have a full dramatic breakout on my chin, which I don't appreciate. Anyway, let's go back to the garden stuff. My sweet potatoes, made sweet potatoes. Obviously, as my first real year of sweet potato growing, this is not going to be like store-bought sweet potatoes. They're not fancy and large, but they are real, which is important, I think. I grew sweet potatoes. And by I mean, like, definitely they grew themselves. Sweet potatoes don't really... Like the video to fix Laura's camera cables, literally. Alex was like, I'll buy new camera cables next week. And I was like, does that mean next week's stream will be ugly? And he was like, no, I'll get it fixed. And I was like, but totally, like the video so that I can get new camera cables. But look at all my sweet potatoes. I know that's not like a lot, but that's not the point. The point is that I grew these from 2 little vines. They grew themselves, truly. But look at them. I grew these. Aren't they cool? Aren't they cool? Real life sweet potatoes. A fun fact with sweet potatoes, when you're digging them up, they break so easily. You want a piece, Thunder? You like sweet potatoes. These are organic, locally grown. You want a piece? It's good. Here, let me break up a little one. Here. Tastes like dirt. That's because they have not cured. Yeah, but when I'm digging them out of the ground, they were snapping. So all of them are pretty much damaged. So they're going to be eaten this week. I'm obviously not going to be curing them. Thunder likes them. You can't see him eating them, but he is. Look, he's got one in his mouth right now. Do you see? He's holding a sweet potato in there. So anyway, my sweet potatoes and my butternut squash are now complete. I grew these. They are food. I grew food. Excuse me, sir. It's very rewarding. It's so rewarding to grow your own food. That is the truth. Which is why I'm going to show you more food that I grew. When I took a bite of an area that was dirty, and now I have actual soil in my mouth. Just put you guys down here. And that other one on the floor. Is it good? You like that? He's so happy. You like your sweet potatoes? Good, I'm glad. Oh, gosh. Nope, so close. So close, yet so far. So the background's sad today, because everything is packed. Geez, there's like no one's gonna come today. They're gonna click on it and they're gonna be like, what a boring looking stream, let's not bother. It's not usually boring, I promise. I grew snow peas in my apartment and literally got 7 or 8 peas, but man, it felt so good. In your apartment? That's awesome. That's cool. I bought a garden cart to walk more often to the grocery store during next spring and summer, trying to save on gas. A garden cart. It also serves a purpose for a garden too. A garden cart to walk more often to the grocery store. Just like instead of a cart at the grocery store, you mean? Yeah, I grew them in milk gallon containers. That's so cool. That's really cool. My apartment gardens never were able to create actual food. It was only ever greens that I could. Greens are food, but you know what I mean? Not like food things. I couldn't have success for some reason. But let me show you the other stuff that I've got here in my garden haul from this morning. I picked this stuff this morning. Sorry there. The mic is getting touched by kale. Okay, so as you can see, there's a whole bunch of kale. Obviously, this camera is a potato, so the colors are not great, but I've got lots and lots of purple kale. Alex and I are going to be eating that today, which I like. It's like a wagon. You can also take it to the beach. Oh, that's cool, Kyla. Useful. So lots of purple kale. Lots of Dinosaur Kale. I love this stuff. It's like cabbage, honestly. At this time of year, I feel like the kale is like cabbage because it's not as bitter as it is all summer. It's like much sweeter. So it cooks kind of like cabbage. So I've got the Dino Kale. I'm going to turn this light in the background off. I feel like it's, you know, not helping. There we go. That's a little better, I think. More visible. When I tried to grow kale, they died almost immediately. I'm surprised. I thought they were pretty hardy. They don't like growing inside if you were growing them inside, Gru. They need the cold, they need the wind. Sorry, the skirt is not meant to be repeatedly sat and then get up, and then sat, and then get up. I'm gonna try and make progress on a sweater. Sounds good. So I've got Dinosaur Kale. It really likes to have the wind hit it though, to keep it nice and strong. So today we're going to be having really nice stir fry with some rumply Dinosaur Kale and some super curly, oh, just listen to that. It's so dense. Purple kale. What are you doing over there? You can't have any more sweet potatoes. He's like hiding behind. There he is. Got an appointment for 1:15 to get my finger checked out. Awesome. Good job, Mary Grace. That's awesome that your doctor had a spot for you. But let me just show you all of this kale. I know it's in a container and I could lift the container, but instead I'm going to show you just how much kale there is here. And there's still tons left in the garden. Sounds healthy, right, Frida? There's still tons left in the garden, and it'll just keep growing because it doesn't need us. But look at all of it. Isn't it pretty? It's like a beautiful bouquet. Imagine that at a wedding. Just a handful of kale. I do. I also picked some herbs. I'm probably going to play around with those right now, bundling them up. I picked some, I also had red Russian kale, but that's not as exciting because it's babies still. But I picked a bunch of mint and some catnip and some sage and some thyme. So I'm going to bundle those things up for later use because I'm not going to use them right now, most likely. And then I also went through my garden and I collected all of my sedum. I don't know if that's what it's called. I don't know if that's what they actually are. I just call them all sedum because they're like ground cover plants. So I've got a bunch of different green and red and little pine kind of looking ones, teeny tiny baby ones, bright green ones, pretty much just a bunch of these ground cover plants that A, I've planted, or B, they were already growing here when we moved here. So I picked a bunch of them to bring with us because they grow so easily and they'll be fine in this pot over winter, just hanging out. I also grabbed a thyme plant. Smells delightful. And I also grabbed one other flowering perennial that I shoved in here, but I don't know what it's called. She moved back to that area from Arizona. Once lived at Long Beach. Cool. Awesome harvest. Thank you, Kyla. My sister grew up in Morro Bay. Good to know. I always forget you are from the States. I forget. There is decorative kale. Yes, there is. Thunder is currently eating a piece of purple kale that fell on the floor. Just munching on the stem. Trying to be very quiet because he thinks he's not allowed. It's the same size as you, my dude. He's allowed. He can have it. People keep messing with the garden at the church I attend. That's annoying. I'm trying to go zero waste again. That's nice. Man, I'm trying to go zero waste too. It's so hard. I'm not there yet. I'm not at a zero waste life yet. That being said, eventually when we live on like our farm and I'm able to preserve a lot more stuff, I think that I could go a lot less waste. I also picked a full parsley plant yesterday and hung it up. That's why that's there. I also I brought inside my Spanish moss yesterday because finally I did. And interestingly, the Spanish moss that was growing outside all summer is so beautiful and strong and healthy, where the Spanish moss that was growing inside in my bathroom is like stringy and sad. So I mean, it makes sense. They would like to grow outside because that's where they grow in like the wild. But I don't know. I kind of thought my indoor conditions in the bathroom where it's like humid and bright, I thought that would make it happier. Ugh, this is itching my skin, but it's also keeping me warm. I feel like I want to undo this part and just wear it like a shawl. Yeah, let's do that. Down. How are you guys doing this morning, by the way? I'm disheveled, but are you guys having a good morning? It's so dusty in our house right now. Morning, Scrappy. It's so dusty in the house right now. Everything being moved everywhere. There's just a lot of dust. It feels very dusty. And last night it was so cold. I was so cold. It wasn't cold in the house, but for some reason I couldn't get warm. So Alex put a whole bunch of extra blankets that we hadn't packed yet on the bed, like 3 additional blankets on top of me. And I went to bed at like 8 o'clock at night. And I don't know when Alex came to bed because with the blankets on top, I fell asleep so hard and I didn't move. Like I woke up at like 3 in the morning like I usually do in the same position that I fell asleep in. I was so happy. So I think that I do need to get a weighted blanket because it was like having that extra amount of blankets on top. It was so good. While we hang out, since I don't have anything to crochet right now, on account of the fact that it's all mostly packed, I'm going to just play around with my herbs here and wrap up some little bundles of herbs. I don't know for what purpose yet. I want to do something witchy this weekend. I don't know what, but I want to do something where I can like, I don't know, before we leave, maybe we'll have a fire outside and burn some stuff. Just something for more of a closure vibe and also for fun. So I don't know what. Do you guys have any recommendations? Any of those of you who like to do stuff this weekend? It's Halloween, as someone said to me recently, Halloween, and it made me laugh. So I hope it makes you laugh. But Halloween is this weekend, and it makes me want to do some stuff with herbs and, you know, we did a whole thing where we got to say goodbye to the garden, which is really fun. It was nice. I appreciated it. And that was where we spread the seeds everywhere, and that was nice. Just being able to say goodbye to all of the hard work that we did. But also it's like we still are here until Sunday is our official moving day, so we could still do something. I feel like I want to make another sage bundle, but I don't need another sage bundle, you know? Do you ever feel that way? Frida, oh, I just got the funniest commercial about how being the waist shaver for men, about below the waist shaver for men, your balls will thank you, lol. Many people in poorer communities stay in and watch violent shows or video games. In communication, we're learning about cultivation, a study within, hold on, about media and violence. Okay. I'm hoping people can get out and work on community gardens. That feels better. Feels like a better thing. I got an ad for soap to wash your butt. Very nice. Me, no chocolate. I'll be on a liquid diet all Sunday. Yikes. That sucks. I remember seeing an ad for men's body wash that said men have skin too. Lol. I love my weighted blanket. I have an extra. Just come and get it. Frida. Scrappy, there were so many more below the waist puns. Lol. My fiance's parents retired from the university. Well, yeah, I feel like I don't know where to jump back in, but basically, I think that I'll have a fire this weekend, outside, maybe inside, probably inside actually. Maybe that's what this will be for. I'll burn this inside. I also have a bunch of mojito mint. It just felt like I wanted to pick it because it's so pretty. I feel like this camera's not going to give you the clearest view of it, but look at how pretty. It's so rumply. I really like texture in plants and leaves. Do you want to come sit with me again? You done playing with your kale? You all finished? Come here. You have to help. I'm way up high and you're all the way on the ground. Oh, gotcha. I'll message you, Laura, on Facebook later Monday to let you know how it all went. Yes, do, please. I would like to know. I want to stay in the loop. You can't eat that, that's sage. But anyway, I think I'll do a fire for this stuff. I've got a bunch of mint, mojito mint. I think I'll dehydrate that today because I don't think I have any mojito mint separately done as my twinsy. I feel I should let you know. Yes, totally. Let me know what I'm in the future for, because you're like a twinsy plus a few years, so then in a few years I'll be where you're at, and then I'll know how it went. I'll know how I'll be, you know? So, yeah, I think the mojito mint I will dehydrate. I'm trying to decide, though, if I should pull the leaves off to dehydrate it or just shove the whole branch into the dehydrator. and then break it off after it's dry. Do you guys have advice? I feel like which one's gonna be easier for me? Probably putting the whole branch would be easier, but I don't know after the fact if that'll be easier. But then the other part of me is like, I don't even want to break the leaves. I want to just put them into the jar as whole leaves because I think that'll be pretty. What do you think? You'd pick the leaves off? That's enough for me. I am willing to follow you into battle. The battle of the leaves. Okay, let me just separate all of the mojito mint. It's sage. You don't care for sage. Oh, that was a mojito mint branch. You don't care for mint either. You could try catnip. You like? Yeah? Oh, the mic is covering how cute you look. I'm basically a disheveled mess today though because I couldn't get the camera working. My skin has decided that it would like to evacuate the premises. I have like major breakout on my chin. I haven't had a breakout like this in at least many months, maybe more than a year. Are you trying to regrow the plant? No, I'm not trying to regrow the plant. I have entirely enough mint to not need to regrow it. That being said, honestly, should I bring cuttings of all the mint to my grandpa's? He might hate having mint on his property though. I could put them in a plant pot and bring a plant pot of it. I don't know, I guess I still have to think about that. There's still tons in the garden. I don't know, because when it's my garden, I'll bring mint in because I like mint in a garden, but if it's not my garden and I'm just playing in it, aka my grandpa's garden, there's the chance that they don't want mint there. And like my mom would not be happy if I just brought over a whole bunch of mint and put it in a specific spot. She has an area for her mint. So I'll have to, maybe I'll just call him today and see what he thinks. Mint is good to deter mosquitoes. And also for every reason, when people are like, it takes over a garden, I'm like, yeah, what do you mean? You just keep tearing it out and then you have mint. And you can keep, other stuff will survive. Like it's not like bindweed, it won't kill your other stuff. It'll just take over the ground. It's a perfect, I love mint. I think mint is a great plant to have in your garden. When people are like, it's invasive, I'm like, exactly. So put it in an area that it can just crawl and it'll cover the ground and it'll make you more mint. Like it's an herb that you can use. If rosemary was invasive, tell me you wouldn't have rosemary. Like if you could have rosemary cover the whole ground, wouldn't you? Plus it's pretty. Look at how pretty that is as a plant. It just grows and then it throws out these runners. Like this is the original plant down here. This grew out sideways and then grew up. Like the original plant is like over here and this was underground. If you run out of toothpaste, you can rub it on the plaque near your gums. The more you know, see? And also, if you don't have mint, you can use mint. You could put mint in hot water and now it's tea. You could put mint in cold water and now it's refreshing beverage. You could put mint in baked goods and now you've got a peppermint patty, is that correct? Peppermint patty flavored things. I have invasive oregano. I'd rather have mint, but still pizza smelling lawn. Invasive oregano sounds great. I love oregano. I love that it will overwinter here and it's not an ugly plant. It's a cute little crawling plant. I do have my creeping mint potted up because I'm going to bring that with me because it's the cutest plant I've ever, I didn't know that creeping mint was a thing until this year and I got it at a garden center, a little 4-inch square thing of creeping mint. And I put it in the garden, and I also put a bunch of it in a plant pot. The garden creeping mint is beautiful, and the plant pot is fully full of creeping mint. So I'll bring the plant pot with me and just have it trail over the plant pot next spring. It's very cute. I don't know if it'll overwinter, so I'm probably going to put it like under something, like under a basket near the house so that it's got like some warm. Lawns with invasive species. Honestly, lawns are an invasive species. Why do we have lawns? Why are there even grass for lawns? Can you imagine if your whole front lawn that is just used to show your neighbors that you know how to maintain a space? Like, what is a front lawn for? It's not for me. Thunder doesn't use it. It's literally just so that the city knows that we mow it. You know what I mean? So instead of having a lawn, imagine if all of it was low to the ground creeping herbs. Creeping oregano, creeping mint. just a bunch of beautiful low to the ground thyme, creeping thyme, beautiful. And then a whole bunch of like these cute little creepers. That would be so cute. I want a moss lawn. My whole back lawn, our backyard gets very wet in the spring and in the fall. It's fine in the summer and in the winter, but in the spring and in the fall, like right now, if you walk around our house, there's like 3/4, if you put a circle around our house, 3/4 of that circle is, you would need rubber boots to not get your feet wet. It's very sopping wet. So we have tons of clover and tons of moss in our backyard as the garden, and I was telling my grandpa how I had transplanted some moss from the forest into this back garden because it got too wet, and it was like there were mud areas that had no grass or moss, and the moss would grow in by next year, but blah blah blah. I went to the forest and picked some up, and he was like, you know, before you were even born, moss was like one of those awful things that you were trying to get out of your lawn. People would just pesticide the heck out of their moss and then plant seeds or sod for grass. Moss is such a frustrating thing to have in your lawn. And I was like, moss is so pretty. Like, what are you talking about? I love moss. And he was like, no. And he was saying, like, do your landlords get upset that you're planting moss in the backyard? And I was like, does anyone get upset about moss? And I didn't realize. And in the past, moss was not something that you wanted on your lawn because it was not, I don't know, pretty. How is there still, oh, that's a ladybug. What are you doing in here? Anyway, so good to know. In the past, moss was considered a problem in your lawn. Now, I would prefer to have moss pathways with low-growing herbs. Yes, my dad is having a war against the lawn moss, but it's so pretty, and it's like bright green, and it's beautiful, like different tones of moss. Like I have a bunch of different kinds growing in the backyard, and I think they're all so beautiful, and they're so soft to walk on, and like everybody in the backyard who is alive likes moss. I'm talking, of course, about like the animals and stuff. Who wouldn't like to walk on moss if you had little paws? Nancy, hi all. White clover is a good substitute for lawn grass. We definitely have an awful lot of white clover and red clover growing in our lawn, as well as dandelions and a lot of plantain and heel-all, which is an herb. I wonder what it was used for. Heel-all, and then another purple herb, and we have tons of wild violets. I want to take some wild violets with us, but I don't know how they'll survive at my grandpa's house. Like, I don't know if it's the right type of land for it. Like, here they grow wild en masse, so many of them, but I don't really know if that's because this area is totally perfect or if wild violets are strong. So I'll have to do a little bit more searching about that before I actually decide to transplant any. Good morning, Nancy. Nice to see you this morning. And homeowners associations will probably get mad about moss, I think. I feel like homeowners associations get mad about anything that isn't the status quo. So if moss is not the status quo, burn it! Burn it all! At least that's what it feels like, isn't it? I have seeds from the Free Seed Project. I planned on doing something nice for the church, but people keep doing what they do, which is so frustrating. Drug-induced pesticides and weed spray. It's just frustrating. They're destroying it and like it's not yours. Just walk away, people. I don't like people sometimes. Okay, so the mojito mint has now all been picked off of its branches, except for the piece that I dropped on the ground. Can I reach it from here? Haha! I have tongs here. Why, you might ask? Because I was unrolling my eco prints here, and they were hot when they came out of the pot, so I have my tongs. The gardeners. Yes, Frida. Frustrating. Do you want some mint? I don't know if you'll like mint. Want some? It's nice. Here, look. You want me to rip it? Sniff it? Mmm. Is it good? No, you don't care? You want to try again? Yeah, just rip it. There you go. So cute. No. Mint is not Thunder's herb of choice. Oh well. You are all exempt. I don't like people most of the time. Same. I don't like people most of the time, but you guys are exempt. I don't like shitty people. Yeah, that. Why can't we have the best of both worlds? Stores or gardening? People can be so oppressive sometimes. Yeah, can't we just have nice... Why can't we have... This is why we can't have nice things. This is why. Because people. How come? Because people. Okay, so this now is done. I need something to hold it in. Do I have something to hold it in, though? Of course not. I do have a little piece of cheesecloth. So that's where you little herbs are going to go until I put you in the dehydrator. My dehydrator was on all day yesterday. I dehydrated a bunch of calendula and marigolds and something else yellow. I picked a bunch of marigolds, calendula, and something else yellow in the garden, and I'm dehydrating them all together, and I'm gonna just put them in a jar marked like yellow dye, so that when I want to dye something at my grandpa's, I've got a dye pot like ready for myself to go. I also made a box of packed items for natural dye, and I realized we have a crock pot, which is awesome because a crock pot, if you're somebody who wants to get into natural dye, but you don't want to like really have a full day sitting at like the stove doing natural dye stuff, something that works really well is a crock pot. And so I found my tiny crock pot that's not useful really. It's like when I was living alone before I met Alex, I had this tiny crock pot. It's supposed to feed 2 people, but it's not even enough to feed 2 people, but it will be enough to fill a full jar of herbs and a 2 jars of water, so I can make a dye bath that way, so I'm going to be able to do natural dye. Another thing I was considering using it for prior to doing natural dye was to put my calendula with oil, so I could get my infused calendula oil. I have jars and jars of dried calendula with no real plan for it. I have catnip that I want to dehydrate so I can give it to Peekaboo in the winter. Because I realized I've dehydrated a whole bunch of it, but I've been giving it to her all winter, so I don't have any stored. Poor Peekaboo won't have any catnip, so catnip needs to get dried. I also have a lot of chocolate mint left in the garden that I really want to harvest more of, so I picked a little bit this morning to remind myself to pick the rest. I still have more mojito mint. I'm learning in my women's studies class the origins to these matters. Is it not rage-inducing? Kyla? I feel like every women's studies course I took, I was like, the world is literally on fire because women were never allowed to do anything until the recent past. If women had been fully incorporated as human beings the whole time, would the world be the way it is? I don't know. I just don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. Good morning, Alex. Nice to see you this morning. And Deanne, good morning. I'm sewing over-shoulder cell phone purses and listening this morning. Cool. I am playing with herbs and talking this morning. I have a 2nd degree in women's studies, and yep, just like you said, every single class. I had a professor that I really liked when I went to the University of Ottawa, and she mostly taught women's studies courses. Women's studies, gender studies, and like religion studies. But when I say religion studies, I mean like anthropological studies of religion, not religious studies. So it wasn't like she was biased towards a religion. She's Wiccan and two-spirited and Wiccan, two-spirited, Jewish, and she's something else. Anyway, this teacher was a lot of fun, and she was like one of those teachers where she would like bring witchy things, and she always was dressed literally like you'd see her and you'd be like, I think that woman is a witch. Like you could like tell, not like old-timey in a hat or anything, but you'd see her and be like, she does magical things, I think. Anyway, her name was Shelley, and she, I think she might be they now. So Shelley, I'll just say Shelley or they, because she is two-spirited. So I think that their pronouns when I was in school though were still she. Anyway, regardless, Lynn, morning, dried all my mint, mojito, and peppermint, just hanging upside down in the kitchen for like a week. The most lovely tea. Kyla, Indigenous people and people in Africa would be advanced in agriculture, largely oppressed groups. Yes, rage, induced rage. Mary Grace, hey y'all, I didn't sleep well. I'm going to nap before my appointment. Have a lovely day. Okay, sounds good, Mary Grace. Thank you for coming. Yes, remember to be kind. Absolutely. Welcome, Lynn. And also, totally, dried mint makes a lovely tea. I do have 2 jars full of dried mint. It's just mixed. It's not organized by the types of mint, and I grew like 4 or 5 types of mint this summer, and all the ones that I can identify at this time of year are my chocolate mint and my mojito mint, so those are the only ones that are going to be dried separately. But I have my sage. Maybe I'll use a mint branch to tie it up, because mint doesn't break the same way. Back with coffee and snacks. Welcome back. So anyway, this witchy teacher, I followed her classes. I just would take her classes because it was very entertaining to listen to her lecture about things that she had done. Like, she would talk about, I don't know, just she did a lot of like crazy stuff that I will never have access to doing. Hey there, Christina. So it was always very entertaining to hear her lectures, but also you would learn. You'd learn like the way you learned when you were young and you would watch the Discovery Channel. You would like really take in the information. And in university, it's hard to find a professor where you really get that same feeling, like, oh, I'm like, you knew while it was like, I'm learning right now, as opposed to like being excited about it after. You could get excited in the class. And I really liked her for that reason. So I followed a lot of her classes. I would sign up for the classes because I got a number of electives each year. Electives are the classes that you get to choose. So in an anthropology degree, let's say there's 100 classes you have to take for an anthropology degree, like 15 of them would be electives. You could choose anything you wanted. So like I took Russian, bless you. I took Russian. I took secondary statistics courses, like you only need to take 1 statistics. I took like 3 because I liked it. And then this professor, I took whatever courses she had. And I had a couple of professors like that through my university time, but she was one of them where she just had all of this wealth of information about, like, I don't know, the way that she talked about the Bible or the Quran or like just any old texts that we look at in any specific kind of way. She would teach it more like a historical document than like we weren't reading the stories, we were reading the context the stories were put in. If we know the year that this paper is from, and we know the year that the writer was alive, what was happening in the world at that time, and we would like build a picture of the community that they were in, and then she would talk about the other communities that were also existing at the same time, and how this story was actually because 2 communities had like religious beliefs, and the Christian people were like basically amalgamating those beliefs into the Bible so that they could be like, look, we have the same story as you, join our religion. And just like learning that stuff about like how certain things are on certain days, you know, like Christmas and is at the same time as Yule, and Easter is at the same time as whatever spring thing. It was just really interesting to learn about all the different ways things happened, the way things kind of organized themselves, and it was cool to have that person teach me that. Alex, I thought my kid sneezed and it was creepy. You said bless you till I realized it was Alex I heard sneeze. This is a really good mic. If you guys can hear Alex sneeze all the way from the basement, that's awesome. Yes, oppressed. Time to change that. Indeed. Hey there, Christina from the Netherlands. Welcome. Because of snacks, I also have dog. Yes, of course. Because snacks and playing with things that smell good, I also have dog. So, man, I don't know. I don't really have anything to I don't have a good topic of conversation. I mean, I'm here. I'm gonna just sit and chat with you because I don't have any crafts to work on right now. I don't have any like major updates. I bought a book on, why is my lip peeling? I bought a book, Kyla says, on women in the Bible because people forget about people like Esther. I don't forget about people like Esther. Hold on, let me just remember. Esther is the old, Esther? Is Esther the one who is an older lady who can't have a baby, so she has a servant named, hold on, Esther and... No, is Esther the one who can't have a baby, so the servant has her baby for her? Or is Esther the one... No, that's Ruth. Ruth is the one... Ruth and Esther? Is it Ruth and Esther, or is Esther the one with the baby? There's two stories that are in my head with women. I know Ruth was the one where you pick up fruit from the ground at a neighbor's farm with your mother-in-law. That's Ruth, right? And then Esther, is it Ruth and man? Words are really hard, can you tell? I bought a book, but yeah, totally. I know all of the stories, I just don't know them well anymore, obviously. I know the names of the people. I can't remember her name, though. Esther is adopted and get her people out of oppression by marrying a king. Okay, so then I'm thinking Ruth. Ruth. Who's the one who can't have a baby? So she has her servant have her baby for her with her husband, but then she's like super mean to her husband, to her baby mama. The Bible is a crazy place if you choose to look for it that way. Science is hard. Oh, by the way, I did more eco-printing bundle dyeing, you guys, and I would like to show it to you because I don't have anything to talk about because I'm moving and everything is in shambles in my life. So here is something I eco-printed. I took a shirt and I put marigolds and leaves and a couple of cosmos. And it's way yellower in real life than what the camera picks up, but it's kind of like natural looking camo, which I love. Isn't it fun? I like it. Feels like a paint shirt. Millicent is barking at the horses outside that are there every day in hope of getting a snack for stopping. Ugh. That's so rude of her. She knows you too well, obviously. Is that Sarah you're thinking of? Abraham's wife? Yeah, that's who I'm thinking of. Sarah. Yeah, and then she's mean. I can't remember. I feel like I know the name of the girl who has the baby, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. But yes, I'm thinking of Sarah, who couldn't have a baby, so they had the servant. I feel like I know her name. I have to look it up now. Abraham's wife, Sarah, story, baby. Sarah was childless at 90. God promised Abraham that she would be a mother of nations. Isaac born to Sarah and Abraham in their old age. No, it's not. Her. Hagar, thank you. Oh, you got it, Hagar. I threw her a stuffed lizard beside her, so she gave up and went to Pestrola. Aw, yes, sweet puppy. Yes, Hagar, thank you. It's been a while since I've been to church, people. It's not my gig anymore, so for me to remember parts of the stories, I give myself a high five. I feel like the moral of that story was like, be nice to people, wasn't it? Because Sarah started being mean to Hagar because Hagar had the baby. I feel like that was the moral of the story. I don't remember the moral of the story of Ruth. Help your mother-in-law? Be nice to your mother-in-law? There are many stories about women not being able to bear children in the Bible. Yeah, because not every woman can bear children. And because, I don't know why there's a lot of them, because they made that a very big deal. So anytime that there's babies, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not a doctor. But anyway, I'm picking mint off of a mint plant, chocolate mint at this point. I have all these little branches of mint that I want to like do something with. Lol, I was loading the dishes while yelling Hagar. Thank you. I'm glad that we all went to church. Important I don't throw things at Millicent. I throw things beside her to get her attention. Yes. Very good, Frida. Thank you for clarifying. I didn't think that you were throwing things at your dog. I figured you were throwing it to get her attention, not to stop her from doing something. Lol, imagine at your test. They're like, get her to come, and you're like, she's not coming for the snack, throw it at her. That, you don't pass. I was raised Hindu, so I'm just having a good time. True. I know nothing. I will say that is one thing that I had a whole conversation with my parents about it, because, like, we're not a religious family at all anymore by any means. Like, yeah, we have Christmas dinner together, but we're not going like, yay, Jesus was born. Like, we're just like having a family dinner. So I was saying to my parents, though, because I have a degree in anthropology and sociology, 2 different degrees, and in both of them, the Bible comes up multiple times, like the Christianity, what's it called? Christian something centric. What is that called? Judeo-Christian, that whole vibe. It comes up multiple times, whereas like the Quran comes up a couple of times in my anthropology degrees, but mostly it was like the Bible, a little bit about the Old Testament and stuff, and it was kind of assuming that you would just know stuff. Like, you're just supposed to know the story of Noah's Ark. And I just know it because it was in school, and it was in church, and it was in, like, general life. But, like, if you didn't grow up Christian, Noah's Ark is not a story that you would necessarily just have, is it? Whereas it wasn't, like, taught, it was, like, mentioned. So I'm thinking, like, if I grew up not having those stories, university would have been more difficult for me. So even though I don't believe those things now, having that backup information was useful. So I was talking to my parents about it and being like, isn't that strange that university that isn't a Christian university, like I went to the University of Ottawa, and it's not like a explicitly Christian university or anything, and yet you kind of need those assumptions, you know? Yeah, I don't know Adam and Eve. I didn't know about Adam and Eve until like 12 or 13 years old. Okay, so you did still get that information somehow. I'm also Romani. The untouchables are oppressed in places like India and various areas. Got to end that. Kyla, there's so many problems in the world that are all oppressed peoples, mostly because of straight, white men. I mean, not only, but mostly. I would say at least almost all of the problems. Wouldn't you say, Alex?
What? Yes.
That most of the problems in the world are because of straight white men?
Most likely.
Most likely. Alex is a straight white man, and he can say it. So that's how you know that. That's how you know it's true, because one straight white man agrees with me. Gosh, I don't even know how to conversate. Hi, Alex. Good morning. Rue says.
Good morning.
Well, Frida, I live in America where most claim to be Christian but are hiding behind that to further their hate, which is true. Interesting. Yelling "my body, my choice" at a vaccine protest march, and then also being like, no abortion that doesn't make sense. Which one is for Jesus? Anyway, Ola says it too. Straight white man. Yeah, there you go. See? 2 straight white men at opposite ends of the earth both agree that straight white men are mostly the problem. Therefore, Alex, yes, let's add in cis. Straight white cis men. Isn't cis? No, that's neither of those. Cis is gender expression, right? So they gender expression masculinely. I love responding to those kinds of people with, how Christian of you. Right? How Christian of you. That's so Christian of you. You're obviously very Christian with the way that you're screaming at people outside of a abortion center, just saying. Scrappy, here the really, really religious people are usually extremely nice. I feel like when you speak one-on-one to a really religious person, you can get really nice. It's just when you like kind of, it's like for me with my fear of teenagers, put too many of them together and it's gonna be a bad time. I feel like it's probably the same with like extremely religious people. To put too many of them together, and for me, it's gonna be a bad time. I'm looking for string, if you can see me just being not all the way here. I took my ADHD pills this morning. Honestly, having this camera switch ruined my whole flow. I have no flow right now. And yet, I'm also on my period, so that's great. Cis identify as the sex they were born with, right? Cisgendered, gender expression, so how you outwardly express your gender is your cis, right? Like if I'm expressing my gender as female, so I am, and I was born female, so cis. Mennonite brethren are very much pacifists. Oh, really? Pacifists means like, I'm not getting involved in your drama. I, for example, am not a pacifist. Might be the flock thing that is scary because they have one brain. It seems that way. But that's like for me with teenagers. Sure, teenagers are great. We've had this argument on the stream before. I'm sure teenagers are great, but you put a group of teenage boys together and I'm not screwing with them. When they get one brain and there's 6 of them, no thank you. One-on-one, probably great people. In groups of 6 or more, not for me. Found some string. Good. Anywho, sorry, it's all of the mint sticks. So I pulled all the leaves off of the sticks, but the sticks are still here. I went to oh, it's actually called Mennonite Brethren. I thought you were saying like people who are Mennonite, and you were just using the word brethren. That's a whole actual name. When we first moved to the Central Valley, they were very nice. Cool. I feel like if you're hanging out with like animals a lot, you're probably going to be a nicer person, you know? And Mennonite people, aren't they like not big into the tech, aka horses in life? Teenagers scare me, and I am one. Teenagers scared me when I was a teenager. They just never stopped scaring me. Like my little sister, no fear of teenagers. She will tell them right off. She's a teacher. No fear. Me, on the other hand, I won't even be like sassy and sarcastic. Mennonite stems from Amish, no? I have no idea. I know that Mennonite people and Amish people both build wooden furniture that is available for sale in my town. Mennonite can use electricity, Amish can't. Interesting. They're just like people, Christina. I teach teenagers. They're just like people. It's crazy, aren't they? They're just like real people. They're almost people. Here is my mint bundle. It's just mint sticks. Yes, no, I know teenagers are real people. I'm just saying, when you put them with no leadership around, aka no parents, teachers, or anything, and there's like 6 teenagers, and one of them like kicks over a garbage can out in public, and I'm alone watching, I'm not gonna be like, what are you doing? Stop acting like a ridiculous human. Pick up that garbage you just threw on the ground. Like, I'm not gonna do that, because the risks to my bodily health are too high. Thank you. No, thank you. Thank you, my hero. Do you guys want to see the cutest video picture of Alex ever? Teens aren't scary. I know you believe that. You and Lori had a whole talking to with me about it. And yet, even though I can understand your point of view, it is still not my point of view. I understand as you are, but you're also not like a highly anxious person though, you know? I guess anyone can be scary depending on the situation. True. Anyone can be scary depending on the situation. But I'm saying, like, if you put 6 teenagers, 6 adult women, 6, I don't know, gender non-conforming adults, 6 small children, I don't know. If I'm walking down the street, like, there's a few groups, like the teenagers and, like, a small group of adult men that I'm probably gonna just not really screw around with. Any teenagers in chat? Don't get me wrong, those of you that are here, love you. It's just different than a group. It's different than a group of teenage boys at night when you're walking alone. It's just different. It also depends on how well educated they are. Absolutely. Okay, so I have a video I want to show you of Alex. Your face looks so different. Maya, I know. I'm 19 turning 20 in February, so you're still a baby, Maya. At least that's what it feels like. Now that I'm almost 30, I'm like, oh, 19? The world, so ahead of you. Nomi, oh, thank you. Any teenagers in the chat? Yes, I love you guys. You guys that are in the chat are not the same thing. You're not the teenagers I fear. Anyway, I want to show you a video of Alex because it's been my background on my phone for years, and this was at my birthday, and I just want you to see how cute he is. Ready? Okay, hold on. Aww. my birthday from like, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years ago. Look how cute he is. I can't ever change my background now because it's like a Harry Potter thing. Look at him smile at me. He's so handsome. Anyway, it'll be okay, Maya, just different. You will survive. You will survive. Okay, do I want to trim some of these thyme sprigs for my little witchy vibes? I'm gonna do something. I feel like I just want to do something witchy today. Frida, dimples. I know, his dimples are so cute. They're like honestly one of my favorite things about him. About his appearance, obviously, like Alex's personality is like my favorite thing about him, blah. But like of his appearance, his dimples have always been like the best. And I've always said to him, like, I hope that if we have kids, they get your dimples, because so cute. My background is Ola and Millicent in hoodies pretending to be spies. Oh, Millicent is in a hoodie also. I have more creeping thyme here. Oh, I love thyme. Don't you love thyme? It's so pretty. Wouldn't that be prettier than grass for your lawn? I think so. Also, sorry for the quality of the stream today. There is no plan, no crafting, no organization, and a shitty camera. Excuse my language. Kyla, Sweetness, I do the same kind of things. Sweetness, I do the same kind of things. What do you mean? Grass is overrated. I would have to agree with you. Oh, by the way, what I was trying to say is even though the quality of the stream is low, like the video, pretty please. And also, yes, the background looks different because we are moving and the only things that are by the window now are the plants. And this is all the plants in the house, except for what's in the bathroom and the kitchen. And I think there's one downstairs in Alex's office still, but almost all of the plants are here. Yep, she has a neon pink hoodie. Oh, and she looks like a spy because she desperately wants out of the hood. Poor baby. Pictures on the phone. Okay, good, good. I do the same kind of things. I love that. Don't you love it? I love having my pictures on my phone. I have to take some pictures outside again today, though. I've been trying to take as many pictures as I can moving, like, through this week, just because it's almost over. It's almost over, baby.
Yeah.
We're almost done. Would you actually mind also bringing me a cup of boiled water? I'm gonna put some herbs in it and just have a herb tea because I have a bunch of extra mint that might as well go into a tea. Also, I have a cracked lip from just it being dry, which is not ideal. Oh, that's another thing. We have to bring with us the humidifier. We can't donate that because it's gonna be dry in my grandpa's house because he keeps the temperature at like 85 all year around. In the summer when it's, I don't know what the temperature of 85 is, but he uses the American temperature thing, so I know it's 85 in his house. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so for herbs that are gonna go in, what should I do? I have catnip, thyme, mint, and sage. So I think I'll do a little thyme just because I was smelling it and I really like it. Since we're talking about religion, recently I was getting suggested videos for these girls that vlog. They belong to 2 different Hutterite groups. I don't know what Hutterite is, but I'm gonna put a little handful of thyme into my water for my herbs, and then I'm going to put some chocolate mint, just the tip. Growth tips into my herbs. Have you seen Hutterite Religious? Very different. It's community living. That's interesting. No, I've never even heard of that. So Hutterite, like Huda, or Hudda, like huddle. Sorry, I'm putting some fresh mint. I have to remind myself of what to be grateful for. Money cannot replace priceless treasures like people and kitties and chickens and other stuff too. Is catnip good to put in tea? They're based in Canada. Oh, that's cool. Is it are they good people? Is catnip good to put in tea? Should I put a catnip sprig in? I feel like it's not poisonous because cats eat it. I feel like you can put catnip in tea. Catnip tea. Let's see what the internet says while I wait for you guys. Well, buy catnip tea on Amazon so you can. Health benefits and uses. Let's have a look at health benefits and uses of catnip. And I'm also going to add some to my tea while I read this. Native to Central Europe, though it can now be found in most of Canada and the northeast United States. Catnip has long been thought to have medicinal properties. Its dried leaves and white flowers are traditionally used for this purpose. It can help treat conditions like insomnia, anxiety, and headaches. I mean, maybe. As long as it's not poisonous, and then I'll put a little bit of mojito mint, even though we're not having a mojito. Is your grandpa in the US? For me, I would die at 85. I prefer 68. Yeah, 85 is a little crazy in terms of the heat. The house is always very warm, but he's also like 90, so like, give him some slack. No, he's not in the US, and he's like from Nova Scotia. I don't know why he uses the 80s. Maybe because his pool thermometer had always the US. But no, he's not. Oh my god, that smells amazing. I'm gonna show it to you. Oh, I'm gonna try. See the herbs? There's herbs in there. We'll let that sit for a few minutes, but it smells very good. 85 is a cool day for us in the summer. Yeah, but like it's not really when you're going from outside to inside, and inside is 85. Like if it was 100 outside and you went into an 85 house, you'd be like, it's still not cold enough. Where is he approximately? Like town? I'm not going to tell you where he is approximately like town, because then you'll know where I'm going to be approximately like town. But he's in southern Ontario. I can tell you regionally. Maybe you can sneakily lower the temperature a degree a week. I mean, it's the thermostat is like, he has like his, you know, his old man chair where he likes to hang out. And the thermostat is like 4 feet in front of him. So no. So I don't think that is a possibility. I feel like he'd notice also, you know, like the dad thermostat thing. Who touched the thermostat? See if he gets chillier if he's just used to the heat. Yeah, that's a good idea. Also though, here's the thing. At night, Laura, sneakily. That's not a bad idea, Frida. The other thing though is that I'm going to be bringing a whole bunch of blankets. Homemade blankets, you know? Put a tall plant in front of the thermostat. You guys are so tricksters, you treachery. But yeah, so not bad ideas. But I think that I'll probably incorporate some lap blankets into his day, because I feel like he's been taking care of himself always. You know what I mean? My grandma passed away. I don't have money to travel, Dawn. Of course, I don't think that you're gonna like lurk us or anything. I'm just thinking that in the grand scheme of things, better to keep some privacy. Not for you guys. I'm not worried about any of you guys. I'm thinking more grand scheme. If I announce where we live specifically, it's not you. It's the rest of the internet also has that access, right? So for my mental safety, I don't really think that anyone would ever need I don't think that we are the people that people would need, be excited to know where we live. But you know, maybe someday we'll have 100,000 subscribers and I'll have a stalker. Who knows? It could happen. Fingers crossed not. Yes, better safe than sorry. Agreed. Better safe than sorry. That being said, I'm not suspicious of any of you people. I'm more concerned about the fact that I won't remember the things that I've said, and if I say things that expose private things, then I have to private the streams. Like, if you noticed, a whole bunch of our streams went private a while ago because I realized, I have no idea what I've talked about. Is any of it important? You know? So I privated all of them. I'm gonna unprivate them once we move, because if we've given too much information about where we live, we won't be living here. So it'll be okay. Definitely the 100,000 subscribers. I hope so. Maybe someday. We're at 60,000. I think we're at more than 60,000. Let me check right now. I'll tell you exactly how many we have. Gotcha. If I want to mail something, you could email me. No, Dawn, I do have an address for where things can go. My parents' farm is a public address, so they have a mailbox for the business farm, and that's where I have the stuff sent right now. 62,668. 62668. That sounds good. It's almost 63. Wow, that's crazy. That's a lot. I'm still on the hide it behind a big plant. I think that's not a terrible idea, Frida, but if you see the organization of the room, I don't know that that will work. I wish you millions of subscribers. I don't think 1 million is even on my radar, if I'm going to be honest with you, because I'm not even at 50, like I'm at 62,000, which isn't even at 100,000, but you know. Someday. 100,000 to 1 million is a big jump, so let's just get to 100,000 first. 2 lurkers might want to make that even. Hold on. I'm still 2 lurkers might want to make that an even. Yeah, totally. Yeah, 62668. Let's get it to 62670. Yeah, 2 more people subscribe and then we'll get there. The address is in the description, Don. Thank you, Scrappy. Yes, I didn't mention that. The address is in the description, as are all of the ways that you can support the channel if you want to support the channel in any kind of way. All the different ways that you can do that are listed in the description. Long-term goals and wishes. Long-term goals. Oh, hello, jumping spider. There's a very large jumping spider on my wall. I bet you it's hunting that ladybug, because the ladybug landed over here and the spider's like slowly creeping towards it. Anyway, I'm gonna eat dinner with the fam. Sounds good, Alex. Have a good rest of your day. My long-term goals for the channel, I know you weren't asking, but I'm gonna tell you. Long-term goals, let's get to, well, that's kind of, I guess that's more short-term. Hopefully it's a short-term goal, 100,000 subscribers. Let's get there. When is your final day there? On Sunday. We move, like we officially move on Sunday. I've gotten lots of new followers on Insta because of the Instagram Christmas market I'm going to be in. That's awesome, Frida. Congratulations. I go up by 1 subscriber on, or 1 follower on Instagram and down by 2. Up by 3, down by 1. My Instagram is not the place that I am trying to grow through. That being said, maybe I should be. But 100,000 subscribers is on the goals list. I would like to earn $10,000 a month. I know that's not crazy, like not realistic right now, but I would like to earn $10,000 a month because that would be $120,000 before tax, which means that'll be like $70,000 after tax. But $70,000 a year after tax would be super, because right now that's not where I'm at. It is hunting the ladybug for sure. I have a jumping spider on my wall hunting a ladybug. It's not a real ladybug, so don't worry. I would say that if it was a real ladybug. It's one of those Asian beetles. They bite and they're orange, but they look like a ladybug, and Canada brought in millions of them one year when we had an aphid overload. And now they're here and they've naturalized and they hurt you if you pick them up because you're like, oh, a ladybug, how nice. It's all a scam. They'll bite you. He was handing out documents during the Holocaust in Lithuania. Look it up. History. Cool stuff. History is cool. He was handing out documents like to let people not die, like falsified documents. Did you read the chat I sent you on Discord? Yes, Scrappy. I don't even know if I liked your thing. It was a long paragraph. I did read through it, and yes, I did read through it, and I put a star to come back to it because it's all good information. And also I laughed because I read how you were like, I was yelling out all the things when I watched it later, and I know you've given really good advice on those private things, but they were all things that you've mentioned to me before, so it's nice to have it all in one listed thing. Yes, I did see the private message, and I noted to myself to, once we've settled, get back into and I'm getting back into everything, to go back to it. So yes, thank you, and that was very kind of you to send all that information. You can make a decent amount during a month through Patreon. Yeah, totally. And Patreon is right now. It's a great added revenue source for me. I have 30 patrons currently. Join my Patreon if you'd like to become a patron. I have 30 patrons now, and it goes up and down each month. 35, 29, like it just like jumps up and around each month. But 30 pretty steady patrons. Thank you for all of you who are supporting me on Patreon. And I think that if I do invest a little bit more into my Patreon, I can definitely go a little further. That being said, YouTube is still currently earning me more than Patreon in terms of my ad revenue and super chats and stuff. So I think between YouTube and Patreon, once I'm a little more organized, I think those two could just be the regulars. And then things like my Etsy and my Redbubble and my, I don't know, like personal things for sale website. I think those will just be like backup ideas, whereas I think Patreon and YouTube are going to, moving forward, be the thing. I'm not sure about the entire story. I'm going to do more research about this matter. Good idea. Lithuania's got a lot of cool history. The money is your long-term goal. I wish you that and more. Thank you, Dawn. Yes, the money is the long-term goal. Financial freedom and security is the long-term goal, but the long-term goal is also to continue to create art as my main source of income. You have an Etsy. I do. I actually have 2 messages I need to reply to on the Etsy. I have Etsy for a couple of my patterns, and I sold stuff on there a few times. But I keep my patterns on there. Obviously, there's not very many, but I need to add to it. Kyla, Denmark did a similar thing. They managed to tell almost all Jews in every single boat across and tell everyone to Sweden and get everyone to Sweden during one night. That's crazy. Oh, to help people escape. Okay, cool. But anywho, yeah, the money is the long-term goal, financial freedom, financial stability, buying a farm. That's the final goals, like the big goals. Having chickens again, I feel like that's a short-term goal for me, because when I say short-term, I mean 2 years. When I say long-term, I mean 5+ years. But yeah, I would like to get more organized in life in terms of like my career, which is not a real career. I know that. I like it. I call it a career. What I mean when I say career is the amalgamation of all the ways that I make money. I don't mean one job until I retire. But I would like to have some more organization when it comes to how I make my money, because doing taxes this year was very stressful, because it's just so many places that the money comes from. Like, it's multiple revenue streams, and I didn't realize how much different taxes was difficult. And I had to pay a lot of taxes this year. It was like $2,000 additional dollars that I had to pay, which was the first year ever. Every other year I've gotten money back from my taxes. This is the first year I had to pay money for taxes, which was like not my favorite, I'm gonna say. As far as like things that I like doing, paying my taxes, not my favorite thing. I do appreciate that my country takes a lot of taxes from its people, because that means that things are better because of it. Taxes are good. I understand that taxes suck, but they're also good. They're important. Like, my road is safe all winter, even though I live on a mountain, because taxes. So, you know. They plant trees every year in front of, like, if you have a house and you have no tree in front of your house, you can ask the government to put a tree in front of your house. That's taxes. Somebody had to pay for that tree, right? So, I don't know. I like taxes. I just don't like having to pay them. Story of everyone's life, am I right? From big boats to rowboats, apparently someone from the SS tipped them off because they were sick of the whole thing and kind of knew the war was lost anyway. Oh, well, good. I'm glad there were people who were sick of the whole thing. Gotta go, friends. Bye, Maya. Heading to our local market, so maybe I'll catch you later if you're still here. Sounds good, Maya. Have a good rest of your day, and I hope you find something cool and beautiful at the market. That's cool. I'd like a tree, please. Yeah, and you can, death and taxes, unavoidable. Yes, that's how I feel, Dawn. It's unavoidable, so you might as well appreciate what it is doing that's good. Like, obviously taxes are, like, I know that taxes are, like, a huge issue with a lot of, like, conservative folks, or I guess in the States you guys have a third group of libertarian. We don't really have, I don't think we have people who would call themselves libertarians in Canada. Maybe there's another name for them. But that's like a US term. But anyway, those types of people who are like, I don't want the government involved in anything. And it's like, but then you'll just live out in the wilderness. Like, you need the government involved in some things. Like, there needs to be a general organized group that makes sure there's roads. You know what I mean? That makes sure there's salt on the roads when it's winter. So, I don't know. I feel like there's like a lot of opinions about like, I don't want to pay more taxes. And it's like, but like, it improves things, or it's supposed to. I guess in the States, though, you have a huge military budget, so I get being like, I don't want to pay taxes because most of it's going to the military, whereas in Canada, military is not where most of our money is going. At least we don't have a big military. Like, Canada is not a military power, as you guys may know. We have like 5 planes for our whole military. So I get that if you were in the States, you'd be like, I don't want to pay a lot of taxes because I know it's not going to my healthcare and my roads. But like in Canada, I know it's going to like my road, like literally the road, or the sidewalk, or trees in front, or the healthcare system, like my prescriptions are $13 instead of $600. Like if you take Adderall for ADHD, I remember when I was getting 30 pills a month because I took one pill a day, and it would be $700 on the pill container, and I would pay like $4 because of taxes. Like $700, I would not have been able to have ADHD medication in university if I had to pay $700 a month. That's insane. Same with some of Alex's pills, are just like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Like I take a pill that's called Valtrex. I'm not advertising any pills, anyone, so YouTube, calm down. But I take a pill called Valtrex, and I get cold sores. So yes, I know the YouTube bots, it's herpes, but it's not real herpes. It's like cold sores. So not that that matters. You having any infection, that's your business. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying I get cold sores, and on my face, only on my mouth and in my nose. And when I was little, I would just suffer through them. Like when I was like 6 or 7, I would just like have them. And sometimes when I was in high school, I would like stay home for a couple of days because I would be so embarrassed by how they looked. Now as an adult, I'm like, it's just annoying. It's not actually like, it doesn't upset my heart the way it did when I was young. But now there's also a pill for it, and it's called Valtrex. And it's often used for people with immunocompromising diseases. And so people with HIV, people with herpes, people with, there's some other reason for it. There's another, rheumatoid arthritis maybe. Anyway, there's a bunch of different things that this can be prescribed for, but it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So I'm thinking, like, if you had HIV and you need, like, I don't need this pill. It's a really nice pill to have, because when I get a cold sore, it's like I can take this pill and it'll make the cold sore only last 2 days and then heal my whole skin by 1 week. Whereas it used to be like a 2-week thing plus another 2 weeks to heal, because it's like a wound on your lip and it takes time to heal. So it would be like a full month. Yeah, that's what Valtrex is, Dawn. Aciclovir. Yeah, the brand name that I have is called Valtrex, but it's the same chemical. It says that on my prescription as well. But anyway, this pill is hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and if you have HIV, it's not an optional pill, like it's a mandatory pill. You have to take it because it's keeping your immune system up. If you have a cold sore, you have a virus in your body, this pill knocks the virus down and kicks up your immune system. So it's good for cold sores because you want your immune system to like get rid of it, because you can't get rid of the virus, you just have it. But if you have HIV, you can't get rid of that virus, you just have it, and you literally, like, you need it. Like, if you have HIV, you need it. It's not like for fun. Like for me, it's not that it's for fun, but it's not mandatory. I can survive without it. Well, here what would happen if your health insurance does cover it, they give you a generic. But not every medication has a generic, and not every insurance covers the same stuff. Yeah. Mud in 3 rivers instead of rivers. Where is everyone going to run once the resources are depleted? They won't be able to, Kyla. What's your shop name on Etsy? I think it's Last Minute Laura Alexandra. Yeah, here they'll do generic if your health insurance doesn't cover the main one, unless your doctor, doesn't. If your health insurance doesn't cover the main one, they'll give you a generic for less money, but it's still money. And also here, if your doctor writes no generic, like I remember when I was taking Adderall for my ADHD, there was a period of time where they didn't have it, or the pharmacist was giving me generic without me, like there wasn't a discussion, but the generic was what was being given to me. And I knew it wasn't regular Adderall, but I also had really weird side effects on it, like hella anxiety. I would get really bad shakes, and like I would be like shivering, but I wasn't cold or shivering. It was, my body was just constantly vibrating, and I couldn't have coffee or tea or anything, and I couldn't sleep, and it was just very uncomfortable. And I also was losing weight because it was making me forget to eat. And when I switched back to regular Adderall, those symptoms went away. So sometimes the generic doesn't work, even though it worked to help me have better attention, but it didn't work because it was giving me side effects, even though it was the same thing that's in Adderall somehow. I guess something else was added that was making me react weird to it. So then my family doctor put no exceptions. And then the health coverage covered the Adderall because the doctor said I needed it to be that. One of my mom's blood thinners was $800 out of pocket. They didn't have a generic for her, so the doctor put her on a different one, and it's $4 out of pocket. It's significant. That's a significant difference. Like, healthcare is crazy. It's crazy because you'd think that it would just sort of be like a good idea to help everyone. I don't know. Laura, so weird. It's supposed to be exactly the same. And yet, Frida, it really wasn't for me. And it wasn't like it was in my head, like I was like, oh, it's not Adderall, so it's not working. No, it was like, I don't care about the generic. I don't have those feelings where it's like, I need the brand name. I don't care. And I was having such, like, I was going to my doctor regularly because I was like, I'm like freaking out. Like, she put me on an anti-anxiety medication at that point. And then eventually I was like, I don't know if it's that I need a new medicine or if this medicine is the problem. And then at some point I got switched back, and then I was like, it's a significant thing. It's cheap fillers. But how could that cause such... It was significant, Dawn. Like, I was having, like... Do you remember that, Alex? Hello? Do you remember when I was on the Adderall generic?
Yeah.
And I had, like, crazy side effects? But it's supposed to be the same thing. Yeah. Anyway, I thought Alex would have more to add, but he just said yes. Yeah, she needed it. She has a pulmonary embolism from the cancer, so if she doesn't have a blood thinner, she dies. A mandatory medicine. The most expensive thing I have to pay for is my melatonin. It's about $50 a month. That was new, so it wasn't covered. Now it's covered. That's nice that it's covered now. Yeah. What's weird is that here, benzos, of course, Laura, if you just put raw herbs in water, you're going to get a mouthful of herbs. Anyway, benzos are covered, but melatonin is not covered. So they would rather give you, I'm telling you, it's the cheaper fillers for generic. Yeah, no, Dawn, I understand that, but how could those cheaper fillers make such a difference in the way that it affected my body? Because it's like the medicinal ingredient is the same thing, right? I was like, well, there goes her savings, but luckily they were able to switch it. Thank God. Yeah. Anyway, melatonin's not covered, so if you want a better sleep and your doctor wants to help you with that, you get way higher. You know about the chemical rivers in South America? I hardly use synthetic chemicals for cleaning. I hardly use synthetic chemicals for cleaning either. I really prefer vinegar. Most of the time, vinegar, like distilled white vinegar, gives me like a good result. I don't like apple cider vinegar, Kyla, for cleaning. I find it leaves a sticky residue behind. I find that like distilled white vinegar, like just like the stuff you get when you buy white vinegar, I find that stuff doesn't leave a smell and doesn't leave a stickiness, you know? I have to say, so far my mom's only had to pay $300 out of pocket. That's awesome, Scrappy. I'm really glad you guys have a good plan, considering you're in the States, and if she didn't have a good plan, that wouldn't be the case. So I'm happy that you guys are covered. Kyla, me neither. Vinegar, baking soda, and dish soap. Oh, dish soap too. Vinegar is awesome for cleaning. I agree. It smells really strong while you're cleaning, but after you finish cleaning, it's fine. Droughts and chemicals, low water usage. Yeah, here, water usage is not typically a problem yet because we have Lake Ontario like a block away, so it's not something that we see on a regular basis being an issue. Maybe in the middle of summer they'll say don't water your garden and don't have a fire, but other than that, we don't have water issues here yet. That being said, this has been a really good learning curve for Alex and I, living in a place where we had to purchase water each month, like have water filled in a tank, because we're able to see like physically how much water we use in a month. Like we can see it all at once, as opposed to how much water do people use for taking as many meds as they do? True, right? Your pee is going to be all medicated too. I don't know, right? She has been in the hospital 17 days total, 1 surgery, 6 chemo infusions, and numerous doctor's appointments. Good deal, then. Really good deal. Jeez Louise. I've read Psychiatry Under the Influence. So informative. Yeah, I wonder how that will happen with all of us taking all of these different pills. Is the water treatment actually going to get it? 2 ER visits and an ambulance ride an hour away. Jeez Louise. Whew, that's a lot. Your poor mom. It's a lot. But yeah, I wonder how the water will be affected by that. But here it's kind of interesting because Alex and I order water every month. We have a water delivery truck come to the house, like a big metal truck, and then with a big huge hose they fill up our big thing that is under the house. It's like made of concrete, I think. But it's cool to see how much we actually use because it's way more than you would actually think you use. Like you think like, oh, I just wash my dishes, I shower, you know, I flush the toilet. It's a lot of water. Like we use like 2,000 gallons or 2,400 gallons is how big our thing is. So we order a 2,600 gallon truck, and it's always full before they empty the truck. So it's about 2,400 gallons of water, and we're 2 people. Like that's not, you know, if you're so close to a lake, you should have a well. Frida, yes, we should have a well, but we're also on a mountain. So the lake is at the bottom of the mountain. Yes, there's a possibility that a well would be fine here. There is a well on the property, but it has not been in use for a long time. It's like sealed. But yes, there should be a well because it's a farm also. It's like an old property. There is a well, it's just not in use. We have 2 cisterns instead. One is out of use. They just filled it with rocks. Why did they just fill it with rocks? Because now if someone wanted to try and like get in there and do anything, they would first have to remove all of the rocks they put in. But anyway, we have a cistern. I bought a Berkey. I have 4 or 5 years to filter our tap water. 4 or 5 years to filter our tap water. That's cool. Oh yeah, it's crazy the amount of water people use on average. Yeah, I didn't really consider that it was nearly that much. It's a huge amount of water. Like it feels like it's like a full pool full of water every month that we use, and we aren't taking hour-long showers, and we're not washing dishes by hand anymore. We wash dishes with our dishwasher, and we watered the garden in the summer. That used a lot of water, but I mean, like, in general, it doesn't seem like something, you know? I just looked at our Cal Water bill history, and we used 15,000 gallons. In the year? Do they add fluoride to your tap water? Yes. So they put fluoride. The water is also chlorinated. It is, because I can smell chlorine from a mile away. I'm very chlorine sensitive. Nancy, I use Dawn dish soap for most cleaning purposes, also white vinegar. Yes, Dawn dish soap for sure. I love a good dish soap for cleaning. But yeah, vinegar works for most things. Not everything, but most. 15,000 gallons for a month? Hold on, I use 2,400 for 1 month and use 15,000. That's a lot. History, and we use 15,000 gallons, but like doing laundry and like, oh my god, Dawn Power Wash. Dawn Power Wash dish spray, soap spray. But yeah, totally, it's a lot of water. Like that's a lot of water. And if you put 15,000 gallons or 2,500 gallons in one space, like it's a huge amount of water. But you don't really think about it when you're using it because you're like, I'm washing my hands. Yeah, but like you've just filled a bucket with water to wash your face at night. You filled, like if you used a bucket, watering the lawns, and we can only water twice a week. Fair. But anyway, it was a good learning curve for Alex and I to... Please hold. Sorry, my dad called. He got his truck ready so we could borrow it if we wanted to. When the well pump broke, we had to go get water. You get very careful with your water usage then. Yeah, Alex and I have run out of water before, so he went out and got like gallon things of water from the grocery store. You can get like large, like 10-gallon bucket thing. Like they're like the Culligan water things, you know? Yeah, that makes you very careful when you have to pour a bucket of water into the back of the toilet bowl to fill the toilet so that you can flush the toilet. you don't use very much water at all when you don't have any. A Berkey is at first expensive, but it can take it to other places in case to filter out water, rainwater and river water. Oh, that's cool that it works for like other places. 4 or 5 years though, so good to filter with. My parents have a UV filter because they have a cistern and a well also, but my dad is like very particular about his water. So like he does a water test every month. He's getting his water from like the city. It's being delivered in a car. Like first of all, they put in a new cistern, so they know their cistern doesn't have anything in it, like no dead animals or anything. But they put in a UV filter and some other filter where it's like through charcoal and lava rocks or something. So it goes through multiple systems, whereas ours, I think it just goes through like a general filter. It doesn't go through a UV filter or anything, and our water is still city water, so it's still chlorinated, it's still fluoridated. If you're getting well water though, it's not fluoridated, so are you needing fluoridated, is that correct? Are you needing to be more careful with your teeth? I don't know. We had rainwater for the toilet for a while anyway. Well, once Alex fixed our rainwater thing, that's what we used the last time we ran out of water, is rainwater for everything except for drinking. We went and got water for drinking. There are places you can get water for free in the community. That's cool. Very Sweden of you. So we didn't have to pay for it, but still having to go get it. Yeah. Making a trip to collect water. I know that sounds very like, that's something a lot of people in the world still have to do. Women mostly have to go spend hours and hours a day collecting water. But that's not something that I'm used to doing. So filling a bucket with water to flush the toilet was an event. We got good rain the other day. Oh, that's awesome. No, wait, you don't mean good rain though. Didn't you guys get like a crazy amount of rain where it was like risky? Like a risky amount of rain. We got a lot of rain over the last couple of days and we are getting more rain. I would totally compost my poo and use soft leaves. I learned this from Rob Greenfield. Oh, that's cool. I feel like I would need a little more property if I was going to compost my poo. But we do have a what's it called? There's a cistern and the one for holding poo. What's it called? Cistern and you guys know what I'm talking about. The thing that goes under the house. Anyway, we have one of those as well, and you usually have to have it emptied every 5 to 8 years. A septic, thank you, but we haven't had to have it emptied since living here, which is great because that is not something I'm excited about when we live on a farm someday. Thank you, Septic. Frida, my water is just filtered. It's so clean, very iron rich though, so I filter the drinking water, just a jug in the fridge. It tastes a bit like blood. Delicious. Although high in iron, I wonder if you could use it for natural dye and use the water alone as a mordant if it's high in iron. Like I wonder if you could do like a dip test on it to see how high in iron. Is it high enough to pre-mordant wool? That'd be pretty cool. If you could just boil your like fabric in your tap water. You can also use lamb's ear plant. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. I have a lot of lambs here outside. I'm trying to decide. Yesterday while I was pulling out my sedum and stuff, the poop truck comes twice a year. Twice a year? Here the poop truck only has to come every 5 to 8 years. Because the way the septic works here is it's like a level system. So there's like these columns of empty space with columns of concrete in between them. So the water goes in, the solids sink to the bottom of the tank, and then the water that's on the top flows over these things, basically pee and the flushing water, and it gets like released into the field. Only the gray water will get released, and then the black water, which is like poop and paper towel, toilet paper, that kind of stuff, sinks into the tank and composts it. There's like chemicals at the bottom of the tank, obviously some kind of breakdown chemical, and then that stuff sort of just ferments and breaks down, and that's why it only needs to get emptied X amount of years, because that the liquid is let go, the solids are what's kept. So I wonder then if our field is not depressed because it's got all of my antidepressant pee in it. Fun fact, my field is high in vitamin D. Yes, the water gets filtered out, and still, you must have a very small tank then. Yeah, totally. I would totally use my compost for fruit trees. Of course, not the garden growing from the ground. Yeah, maybe not for like your sweet peas. Maybe not for them. But yeah, totally for fruit trees. Have you seen the TikTok with the tomatoes growing at the sanitation plant? I guess it's normal. Our poop makes veggies grow there. That's interesting and weird. That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? Around a water, like a sanitation plant, to just do orchards, just surround them in fruit trees. That'd be pretty cool. Cool way to do it. Our water treatment plants here are always so shady looking though, like they're always surrounded by huge barbed wire fences, and there's always like a crap ton of birds living there. Weird. The poop truck comes to all the houses. That's fun. Mr. Poop Truck. It's poop truck season. Oh, so do you guys organize as a neighborhood? Like, do you guys make sure that they're coming all at the same time? That's interesting. It was cool, but gross. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool, but gross. Nobody wants to deal with human waste. It's not something that you're like, someday I aspire to handle human feces. It's just not, I don't think. Useful job, not a job I want. I would rather pay the poop truck man. Yep. We haven't had to do that though, because I guess our septic is huge, because we've lived here 2 years and never had, I don't know how you would know it's time. Hasn't anyone noticed that the grass grows like crazy around the dog poops? I don't know. I've never found that. I find that dog poops kill well, I don't know if that's true or if it's the pee, but dog poo, I feel like when it's an animal that eats grass, it will positively affect the grass, but if it's an animal that eats meat, not so much. Nope, they just come. The chimney sweeper too. I don't know, I'm just glad they appear. Well, in the meanwhile, Ola's been like calling these people, getting everything organized, and you're like, wow, it's so magical, these people just showing up here. Dawn, the bunny poop has made our lawn fantastic where they were, but bunnies don't eat meat, so their poop breaks down easily. No, Dawn, I feel like they burn the grass around my neighborhood. Same, Scrappy. I mean, Thunder, not so much, because the amount of pee and poo that he releases is the same as a chicken or a duck or something. But for my parents' farm, they have a big dog that burns the grass. His pee burns the grass. My sister's dogs are bigger. Where they pee, it burns the grass. Onion plants, businesses using the natural methane to produce energy for clean air around here locally. Onion plant businesses. If the septic is full, the lawn will sog out. It will back up into the house. Nothing going down. If the septic is full, the lawn will sog out. I wonder if the septic is full or if it's just the rain. 3/4 of my yard is seemingly under puddle right now. Interesting. The grass directly below dies, but the grass around it grows exponentially. That is true. It's usually taller around the poop. Ola doesn't call anyone either. It's kind of inconvenient when both people are scared of phone calls. Lol. Oh gosh, I wonder. Rabbit poop is an awesome fertilizer. I'm gonna Google that. How do I know when my septic is full? Imagine if our septic's been full. How to know when the septic tank is full. LOL. No, I don't think so. Pooling water, slow drains, odors, an overly healthy lawn, sewer backup, gurgling pipes, and trouble flushing. Okay, what do we have? Pooling water, yes. Slow drains, no. Odors, no. An overly healthy lawn. I mean, not for the time of year that it is. Everyone's lawn looks like this. Sewer backup, no. Gurgling pipes, yes, but I live in an old house. Trouble flushing, no. That's crazy. How often does a septic tank need to be pumped? Every 3 to 5 years. Okay, not 5 to 8, but you know. That's so crazy. Can I shower if my septic tank is full? Unless the toilet's overflowing or the bath spigot is filling the tub with blood. Plumbers and exorcists aren't usually on our minds. Oh, this is so rude. I hate when people start with a whole story. How long does a septic system last? What happens if you never pump your septic? Wastewater will back up into the house. How many loads of laundry a day are safe to do with a septic tank? Most people should avoid doing more than 1 or 2 loads of laundry a day. I definitely, when it's laundry day, do more than that. Our septic field was to the back of the house. The toilet is overflowing. I think I'll take a shower. Right? Our septic filters out the front lawn. Your septic filters out to the front lawn? No. Our septic filters out to the field. Had to be certain measure from the well. Had to be certain measure from the well. If it has to be a certain measure from the well is on the other side. Haha, oh well, you're moving. Literally, like, bye, I hope the septic tank's not full. Please enjoy 2 years of our life here. Interesting, good to know. Okay. Wondering now if it's full. Kyla, where is the show streaming service? Oh, what show, sorry. Anyone watch the documentary, The Biggest Little Farm? I tried. I got bored. I'm not gonna lie, I did get bored of that one. I tried watching it. I ended up watching the mushroom ones. Enjoy my poop in your lawn. Enjoy my poop, please. God, that's so cringy. I hope that that's not the case. No, I feel like there's no backups happening, and there's no odors happening. It's probably fine. Our septic and well are literally as far away from each other as they can get. Okay, so I'm pretty sure it goes into the field, which is equally wet how it usually is. Do you watch Escape the Chateau on Peacock? No, I haven't watched Escape the Chateau. Is it good? I don't have Peacock, I don't believe. Scrappy, enjoy your poop. Enjoy my poop in your lawn. Although, our lawn looks great. That being said, it is very, very soggy at this time of year. But it was this soggy at last year and the first year we moved in also. So, like, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. It's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it. You know what I did find, though, that I was unhappy to find when cleaning the kitchen? Mouse poop. I packed the kitchen yesterday. I packed all of our pantry. I packed all of our... I guess that's still pantry. I packed all of the cupboards in the kitchen except for, like, the pots and the bowls and plates and stuff, because that stuff, we're donating all of our plates and cutlery and stuff, but we are keeping some of our pots. Like, I'm keeping my natural dye pot. And that kind of stuff, but I packed away all of the pantry items from our home, and when I was going through everything, cleaning after, I found mouse poop, which wasn't great. I mean, it wasn't where any of our dry goods were, but there was like the area where our juicer and our blender and where we store our garbage bags and our long candles. I don't know why those are all in the same area of my pantry, but they are. There was mouse poop in that area. Mice get cold too. I know that, but like, I got rid of them last winter and it's not winter yet, and the fact that there's mouse poop now means that at some point during the summer there has been mouse poop, because I've cleaned everything since then. Is Grandpa excited for you to live with him? I'm sure when you cook he will love it. He is. I don't know if he's excited. He invited us to, though. Like, it wasn't like I said, Grandpa, can we come live with you for a period of time? He was like, when he found out our house was getting sold, he was like, you should come stay here to save money. And I have a huge house with nobody living in it except me. And he said, I told you this years ago when you moved on to that farm. There was a waste of money. You should have come to live with me then, but come to live with me now. And whenever you guys don't want to be here, you can leave. And I was like, okay, well, thank you. And then Alex and I ended up talking it over, and we were like, actually, though, like, let's. And then we talked to him again, and he was like, yep, you can come live here. I would like that. So he invited us, which makes me feel good, because it's not like it was a discussion like, what are we going to do next? It was like, your mother told me that your house is getting sold. You guys should leave. And we were like, yeah, but we might not have to move out. We might be able to stay here even if it gets sold. And he was like, how much is it selling for? And we were like, about $3 million. He was like, that's insane. So, yeah. So I think that he's welcoming us. I don't know if I could say that he's happy to have us, because I wouldn't be happy to have people come live with me, even though I would be happy to invite them to come live with me. Do you know what I mean? Like, me personally as a person, I would love to be able to say, come stay with me. But in reality, in the actual reality, I feel that I wouldn't actually want people in my space. Like whenever, for example, when my sister comes to stay, or Alex's sister comes to stay, or Alex's parents come to stay, I want them to stay with us. But once they're here, I'm like, there's someone in my space and I can't move around my house freely the way I normally would. I have to have clothes on all the time, for example, or the floor needs to be like everything needs to be a certain way when other people are in my space. And if it's not, I feel very uneasy. It's really generous of him. Absolutely it is. It's going to be a huge transition. I think that it's going to be great. Like, it'll be hard at some points because, like, he's like 90. He has his own opinions. He has his own ways of living. So, it's going to be a lot for both of us, for him and for us. But yes, he chose to invite us to come stay with him, and we very excitedly agreed. So we are going to be living there, and I think it'll be good, and I think he'll love us cooking. And you can't move naked between the bedroom and the bathroom, literally, Frida. And the bathroom with the shower is upstairs. So it's like a whole walk through the house. Yeah. That's great. He made the choice to invite you. Yes, he definitely made the choice to invite us. It wasn't like a conspiracy behind the scenes, which at first when he invited us, I was like, Mom, did you ask him? And she was like, no, what? So, yeah, I am excited about it, but I'm also, you guys know, I second guess myself on everything. So there's parts of me that are going, is he second guessing himself on it? Or is he going to be happy about it? Am I going to be overwhelming for him? Probably a little. I'm overwhelming for myself, so for him probably. Then he'll really like it. I'm happy for you all. Thanks, Dawn. I never run around without clothes, and I've lived alone most of my life. I often run around without clothes, I'm not gonna lie. That's something that as soon as I lived on my own, I was like, oh, clothing optional. So that's gonna be for me a new thing, like wearing pajamas to bed. Gonna be a new thing, but it'll be good. I think it will be good. It will be one of those things you look back on and think it was good for you. Frida, yeah, absolutely, yeah, but you won't be there forever. Absolutely, Scrappy, I won't be there forever. And not to be dark, but he won't be here forever. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm going to be the only grandkid in our family who will have... Glad to know you will continue this show, Laura. Absolutely. Nice conversation, everyone. Gotta go. I signed for a lot of things this semester. Best wishes and good weekend. You too, Frida. You too, Kyla. Have a good rest of your weekend. And Slinky, have a good day as well. Thank you for coming. Don't forget to like the video before you guys head out. But yeah, not to be dark, but he won't be here forever. And I think that it will be a good life thing. Like, my life is a whole story, and this is a chapter of it. And I think it will be... a good thing in terms of the life story. I think it'll be a good time for growth, a good time for change, you know? Yeah, enjoy the time you will get with him while you're there. Exactly. And I'm gonna hear all of his stories that he thinks of day to day, but doesn't mention out loud because no one's around when he thinks of it. You know what I mean? Like, you think of cool things, but if no one's there when you're thinking it, and you're not someone who journals, it'll just pass. So I think that I'll get a lot more stories, which is exciting. Also, I will see more of my family more often because he gets visitors often because he's an elderly gentleman, so he has his kids come and visit to make sure he's okay. So I'm sure that they aren't going to just stop visiting because someone's living there. So I'll see more of my family, which is kind of cool because normally, like, my extended family, maybe I see them like 3 or 4 times a year, like in non-pandemic conditions. It would be 3 or 4 times a year that I see like my cousins and my uncles and aunts and stuff. So I'll probably get to see them more often, which is kind of cool. You can knit next to him and that will make him happy, plus more positive things. Louisa, that's honestly something that I think is going to bring him a lot of joy, is like hearing the sewing machine going, hearing the clicking of my needles or my crochet hook, or, you know, I think that kind of stuff will really bring him back because that was the stuff my grandma did. So I think that'll be good. Yeah, I don't really like living here, but I'm so grateful I got to spend much more time with my grandparents and my aunt. If we hadn't moved up here, I wouldn't have had that. Right. So it's going to be a lot of, you know, there will be a lot of time for bonding. I started wearing respectable PJs after paramedics had to take me from home to hospital. Firefighters came too. Embarrassing, to say the least. That is, honestly, when we moved out here first, because we had always lived in a city apartment before that, but when we lived here in this house in the middle of the country, I was like, I am at risk of being murdered by an axe murderer because we live in the middle of nowhere. So I would wear pajamas to bed like active pajamas to bed because I was like, there is a chance that I'm gonna have to get up in the middle of the night and run somewhere because a murderer is after me. Not the case. I live in a very safe area, a very safe mountain top. But when you are someone who's only lived in the city and then you live out in the country where it's dark and there's scary noises, you start wearing pajamas. But Dawn, yeah, I can see making the change after something dramatic like that happens. In my Panama t-shirt, aka Ola's old t-shirt, good. No bra or bra-like object. The only tights that were clean and unmatched socks. Yeah, I had a clean skirt, a shirt that was meant for pajamas for tomorrow. I have all of my clothing for the next few days open because everything else is packed, and a triangle shawl that was actually in Thunder's bed this morning, but I wanted it, so I took it out of his bed. But yeah, I think it's going to be good for the like lifetime story, but I do think it'll be difficult at periods because I know that I have such a strong personality and he has a strong personality, and Alex is much more amenable. Alex is very go with the flow normally, but I'm very like second guessing words all the time. So if I get like a passive aggressive remark, I will hold on to it like way longer than I should, and not knowing his cadence of day-to-day talk is something that I am mildly overwhelmed by the fact that I know that my future brain will overthink. You know what I mean? Like if Alex was gonna be, if I was like, is anything wrong? Are you okay? And he goes, yeah, I'm fine. I know that Alex means, yeah, I'm fine. But like if my sister says I'm fine, then I'm like, what's wrong? You know what I mean? I don't know my grandpa's words for everything yet, so I'm gonna have to get used to that. But I also think we're both going to be living on different, like we're going to be living in different areas of the house. I think that he's used to having a lot of quiet time on his own, so I'm not going to be bombarding him with me for at least for a couple of weeks. I think I'll be keeping myself pretty quiet and keeping myself separate, just so that it's not all at once. There's just noise, and there's already going to be a cat and a dog coming into the house, which he's never had a cat. He doesn't dislike them or anything. It's just not a pet that he ever had. And the last dog he had was like 20 years ago, maybe 18 years ago was the last dog. Her name was Pooch. She was a King Shepherd, and he loved her. But Thunder is not a King Shepherd, so it's not the same thing. No more careless farting. Candace, exactly. No more careless farting. I couldn't even wrap my blanket around my bottom half since it's a 9-kilogram weighted blanket. Lol. Oh my, I got a picture of that in my head. Nothing else, and I'm tall. Hold on. Sleeping in a huge men's t-shirt, preferably with a funny saying on them, and nothing else. Very good. That's garbage. Thank you. You look very handsome today.
Thanks. I woke up like this.
I know, I was there. But he will love Thunder. Everybody loves Thunder. And also, my grandpa's a pretty quiet guy who, like, he listens to the radio, he watches baseball games, and he hangs out a lot, like, just chillin'. And Thunder loves someone who's just hanging out chillin'. So, when I'm sitting and crocheting, Thunder will certainly make friends with my grandpa. I'm sure it'll take a little time for Peekaboo to make friends, but I'm not gonna rush her. She can have some quiet spots to hang out in the basement, and she'll be good. Yeah, we had our niece living with us for a couple of months. I wore a bra way more than I would. That's pretty much what it's gonna be. I'm gonna just be wearing a full outfit. Don't just stay in your room. If my sis was living with me, I wanted them to interact with me. Yes, I understand that, but if you are... I guess I could also just do like a human thing and just have conversations with him about it. Would you prefer more alone time? Because I can be quieter. Not much quieter. I'm not a very quiet person. Bye, Rue. Have a good appointment, and stay safe. Don't forget to like the video before you leave. Scrappy, depending on boob size, you can get away without one. I can't. Yes, I definitely can. As you might be able to tell with this potato camera, you can't see anything, but in reality. Did you make a tutorial for that shawl? Dawn, yes, I did. I don't know what it's called. I think it's just called a crochet triangle shawl. But yes, I did make a tutorial for it. And you know what's cool? The edging on it is like a bat wing. Do you see? I did picot stitches every like 5 stitches. Do you guys remember that? And it worked out mathematically perfectly somehow, even though I didn't do counting. I do 3 streams a week, Melissa. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Welcome to being here live. Oh, sorry, Thunder, for the stream. But yes, Dawn, I can. Me too. But aren't they fun? The edges? I think it's cute, like a bat wing. Louisa, I must go now. Bye, Louisa. Have a good rest of your day. Don't forget to like the video before you head out. It was lovely spending time with you all. Laura, all the best Sunday and with what is in the immediate future. Thank you. I need all the best. I need the good luck. I just bordered the shawl I made for my mom with a picot edge. It's so cute, isn't it? I know, it's like little triangles. I love it too, Dawn. My brain works in pictures, so when you say potato camera, I picture the kids. I picture like a kid since science project propped up in front of you. It feels like a potato. I call it a potato because Alex did that once where he was like, I'm sorry, my phone camera, it's a potato. And when he said it, I laughed out loud because my brain was just like, it's a potato. And I thought it was very funny. And now every time I have a wonky camera, I just call it a potato. Usually you end long before I log in for the morning. Well, I'm here now until 1:30. Here I am. But it's like a potato, Frida. It basically is like a kid science project. It's like an old webcam, but it works. I'm sorry I'm not crocheting anything. I don't have any tools or yarn available right now. Do you want to like snuggle more though? Because you look like you could do for a little bit more of a snuggle right now. Is that better? But anyway, I don't know. What else is going on? The move is big. It's gonna be dramatic. Maybe I'm just overthinking. Maybe. I'm just overthinking it. I know that. I call useless things banana, or if I can't find a word, banana. Potato is mine. I'll keep picturing the potato then, truly. With the like mirror in it, like the kids, totally a kid science project potato camera. But it's Friday, which is Sunday is the official moving day. But I spoke to our landlord and I said, do you mind if we come back throughout the week? Because I don't want to clean now. I want to pack and get moved. And she was like, yeah, nobody's moving in right now. So yeah, you can come back throughout the week. We don't need the keys back yet. So we're going to come back next week to basically just get all the bits out. Like we're going to do lots of toothpicks and some tape too. Yeah, definitely. Like some Scotch tape that's not flat anywhere. If there's like ripples in it, it's like poorly put together. That's how I see it too. I saw a video of yours. I love the couch cover and one very geometric hanging. Couch cover? A couch cover? Did I make a couch cover? I don't think I made any couch covers. My mom is giving me a bunch of her yarn today so I can make her hats. Little does she know, I've already made her a bunch. So now you just get free yarn. That's awesome. I love the couch cover and one very geometric hanging. A geometric wall hanging? Of mine? I feel like if I had a couch cover on something, it was probably a quilt. A wall hanging though, I don't know what wall hangings I have that are geometric. Like, I don't know anything that I have. That was for Scrappy, sorry. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. Good, thank you. Because I was like, I don't have those things. I'm not gonna have to do anything to cover his couches either. He has lovely couches. My grandpa is like a furniture hoarder is like a bit far for what it is, but he's got a lot of furniture. I have a friend in art school that did amazing sculptures in sweet potatoes. She carved them and then they dried and it was fantastic. I made her potato earrings for Christmas. That's cute. I have sweet potatoes that I'm gonna cook tonight, I think. What do you think, Thunder? You want some sweet potatoes tonight? Want sweet potatoes? He's like, I don't know that word, but I want them. So today, Alex and I are going to pack more. We have to do the downstairs kitchen still. I took out everything that I value except for my dye pots, and I said to Alex, can you just get rid of everything else that's in here that I don't want or need? Put it in a donate or a dump run. We have two piles going right now. One's going to the dump, one's going to the donate. Because I don't even want to look at it, because everything that I see matters to me now. I'm at this point where like everything I see, I'm having a hard time sorting between I don't need this and I need this. So I went down to the kitchen and I brought a basket down and I took everything that was clearly of value, like my alum powder and my yarn that was for dyeing and like certain things that I see and I'm like, I will use them again and I need them. But there's a lot of stuff in that kitchen that hasn't been touched in a year because I haven't used that downstairs kitchen for dye. And I'm having a hard time telling what stuff is important now. I'm at a point where I've just sorted so many things between this is not important and this is important. When I say important, I mean not replaceable easily for me. A lot of things that I have got donated because they are easily replaceable. All of my plant pots, for example, I don't have emotional connections to my plant pots. God, it's not true. I do have emotional connections to some of them, but anyway, I don't have sentimental attachment to them, so they all got donated. Stuff like that. They're not necessary to bring with us because I'm not going to emotionally miss them. She wore the earrings during her examination. They were made of plastic clay stuff, but they look like potatoes. That's cute. But like we have a bunch of stuff that's like gotta get donated and brought to the dump. Decision fatigue. It feels like that, Dawn, honestly. I look at stuff now and I'm just like, just put it in a box and we'll bring it. But I don't want to do that because I don't want to have boxes full of miscellaneous. Like right now, I'll read the boxes that are in front of me. Crafts, serger, serger, soap making, and paint. That's what's in one box. Those things don't go together. I know that that's a decision fatigue box, as opposed to Laura's office, dead things, journals, handmade pottery, witchy stuff. That's a very organized box. Laura's fabric, organized box. Laura's tea, dried herbs and preserves, organized box. Clothes, organized box. Laura's office, sewing notions, sewing supplies, sewing patterns, and then in brackets, zippers. Like that's organized. And then there's ones that there's a box that says clothes and hangers, no longer organized. I know those things get opened together, but like they're not, like clothes should be full, a box of clothes, you know what I mean? So I'm getting my decision fatigue. It's a real thing. Well, there you go. I have to go bring hot dogs and my dog to a soccer field. Crazy person. Yes, see you on Monday. Good luck, Frida. I wish you the best of luck on your test. Wait, that's not till next week though, is it? Well, I wish you best of luck training. And don't forget to like the video on your way out. But boxes are starting to get disorganized. Like they still have important things in them. It's just less clean and obvious when I need to open them. Like some of my boxes don't need to be opened for a month. So I'm trying to make sure that those boxes are clearly labeled. Like you don't need to open this, Laura. But geez Louise, I'm tired of packing. And there's still a lot. Like Alex keeps being like, there's not that much to pack left, but there is. There's a lot left that's in the house. Like, it doesn't feel like there's a lot because each room looks empty, but if you piled every item that's left in the house into one room, there's a lot of, like, things, but they're all, like, items, like a battery charger or a battery for a thing that I have, but I don't know where the thing is, or a cable for a sewing machine that I no longer have. Like, I have to figure out that stuff, and it's just, like, it's just a bit much. It feels like a bit much. It's gonna be fine. But today we have to do the downstairs kitchen. I want to do the bathroom today because we have like our organized, I'd toss blankets on them or my dogs and cats on them though. Yeah, I toss blankets on couches. But what am I saying? I need to pack the bathroom, but we already have, like, you know, like when you're going to stay over a couple of nights somewhere, you have like a weekend bag. We have our weekend toiletries bag. So everything except for that, I'm going to pack. And then I'm going to do a scrub down of the bathroom. The bathroom is so, like, not the biggest thing, but for me, it's like if I move into a place and the bathroom's gross, it makes me unhappy. So I want them not to have to do any cleaning in the bathroom. Downstairs kitchen it needs to be mopped. And I think that's it. Mopped and the garbage thrown out. But everything else in there is fine. I have to vacuum the whole house. I'm talking for next week. What I'm going to come back to do is like cleaning. And anything outside that I still have stuff that I like. Scrappy, you linked to Discord. It was an old poncho and a capelet and an Afghan. Oh, okay. It was the video she linked. Got it. Anyway, there's a lot left to do. There's probably a whole truckload to go to the dump, which is sad because I don't want to go to the dump, but there's a lot of things that are like large broken items that are not recyclable. Like, that I would just keep if I lived on a farm. But now that we're not living on a farm, you know, it doesn't really make sense to have anymore. I think I'll put this wreath up that I made the other day with you guys. It's dry now. I think I'll put it up on the door when we leave. See? It's all dried out. I think I'll put that up on the door so that when they come to look at the place, there will be a wreath on the door. I think that'll be nice. Gosh, you guys. Can you believe we're moving here? Some of you guys, like, have been here since we moved here, since before we moved here, since Toronto. Some of you guys might have even been here since Ottawa. That's crazy talk. Isn't that crazy that you guys have been here with me through multiple moves? Seems crazy to me. Sorry, if you keep seeing me licking my bottom lip, it's because I have a split. This morning when I, like, smiled, I guess, it just split. It was just dry and it just split right down the middle. And I keep licking it because I keep feeling like, what? Oh, there's a cut. Oh, there's a cut. So there's that. Yeah, you were in the city. Yeah. And now we're in the country, and now we're moving back to the city, but we're moving to a smaller city. It's still a city. It's not a town, but it's a smaller city. It's not Toronto. But it's gonna be good. It's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. It's gonna be difficult for a while, I think. I think I might be overthinking it. Like, you guys seem very optimistic that everything's gonna go smoothly. I'm just assuming that that's not the case. I never forget it. I had baby foster pup that wanted to be wide awake at 4 a.m. so I was able to join. Oh, I remember when you were like fostering. And remember when you were sending us the pictures of the other puppies? I remember that. Your sister had other puppies. Just got here. Hi cats. Looks like Thunder is in need of his mama today. Maybe he's feeling the vibes. Yeah, he's definitely a little bit needy, if you can tell. You are handling a lot of paper and not hydrating enough. You're handling, yeah. I'm definitely not hydrating enough, but I am handling a lot of, just in general, just handling a lot of items. It is drier in our house right now. It's been a year since my last foster. Scrappy, you'll be able to again, just not yet. But you know what? After the whole pandemic drama is over and your mom is fully back to health and everything is okay, there's going to be a lot of dogs that need fosters, so you will be very much needed in the foster community again. But it's weird because our house is actually typically quite humid. Like, we have dehumidifiers in this house, in the basement, and even up here there's one somewhere. But because it's usually like when it gets cold outside, our windows get foggy on the inside. Just, it's always like moist in here, so I'm surprised how dry it feels. But my skin is so upset, and my lip got a cut on it. Life is so hard, you guys. My struggles. It's all gonna be okay. I think that I'm overthinking it, because I overthink everything. So I'm looking for the ways that it can be negative, like I'm looking for the ways it'll be difficult. But I think in a lot of ways it's gonna be fine. I just imagine myself in my grandpa's position, and I'm thinking, I wouldn't want someone I wouldn't want, even if I love them, I don't want someone to come live with me. In my head I do, but in practice I can't imagine it would be fun. Because we plan to live on the farm for years more. Yeah, we planned on being here for like 10 years before we would buy our own farm or buy this farm. That was our like big goal, was like 10 years here, and then we would decide if we were gonna try and buy this farm or move to another farm. But now they're selling it for like $3 million, so that's not realistic. We thought it would be like for $1 million. Will you have a dedicated place to vlog in the new place? Yes. So I'm gonna have a place that is like this, like a setup for my live streams that will also be my office. And it's a pretty good sized room, so I should be able to kind of have the same sort of energy, just not as many plants, because it's going to be in a basement. There will still be plants though, because I'm bringing my grow lights with us so that we can have plants downstairs, because I need light and I need green. So yes, there is a dedicated location for me that is way out of the way, and it's an area, like an area of the house that he just doesn't use. So yes, I will, and that will be okay. I just donated a bunch of crochet dog sweaters and a bunch of fleece blankets. I figure I can help it that way instead. That's awesome. Poor babies. Well, at least, yeah, you're keeping a bunch of doggies warm, so that's good. I think it's going to be an experience for sure. And I think it's going to be something that I really do appreciate having had the option to do, having had the opportunity to do, because I think that I'll learn a lot from him. I think I'm excited to learn a lot about my grandma because I'm an adult now. It's different than when I was a kid. Like when I was a kid and she was alive, I got stuff from her, like knowledge. And then after she passed away, we got stories from my parents and my grandpa and stuff. But we were kids, so we were being told those stories as kids. And like now, obviously, I get stories and clearer pictures from my mom, but I think having pictures from my grandpa, like his description of how things were, I think that'll be kind of cool. Because like I met her when I was little, you know what I mean? Like I didn't have her in my teenage years, so I don't know how she would have given me advice when I was a teenager. I don't know what she would have said to me now because I didn't know her as an adult person, you know? So hearing about her now that I'm an adult person, I feel like the stories will have a bit of a different tone than when you're a little kid. In the grand scheme of things, you're blessed to have, in the grand scheme of things, even in the smaller scheme of things, I know I'm very blessed to have him, and I know I'm very blessed that he was so generous in offering for us to come live with him. That's crazy. That's like a lot for anyone. I'm thinking like grandpa, and what fun it would be. So cool to have life in my house. Someone who is happy together and cooking and creating will want to hear my stories. Dawn, that makes me feel really good. Thank you for telling me that, because giving it from your perspective as someone who does live alone, having someone come into their house and take up space in their house, knowing that that would be a good thing to you, that makes me feel good. Yes, it'll be a blessing because when it's time for you to move out of his place, you will have saved so much and gotten to be closer to him. Yeah, totally. And learned tons of advice from his life experience. And also, I'm sure it will awaken a different area of my creativity because I will be in my grandma's creative space. And after my grandma passed away, my grandpa didn't change anything about the house. Like, yes, he added his items. Like, my grandpa traveled, so he collected a lot of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff, like statues and like knick-knack things, like stuff that I collect, rocks and shells and things. But the space itself is where my mom grew up, and the space itself is where my grandma had all of her creativity happen, because like she was very like she reupholstered stuff, and she sewed and knitted and macrameed and needlepoint and just hand embroidery and cross stitch and painted, and she did all the crafts while maintaining a clean house and raising children. I could never. I can't do all of the things. I can do the creative part though, but I think it'll be interesting for me to be working. Is that the grandma you've shown an old photo of? Yeah. My grandma, she was a very creative person who did a lot of handicraft things. She made all those Christmas crafts you showed us. Exactly, yeah. So that's kind of cool because they're all going to be back in his house again this Christmas. But yeah, she was a maker, she was a nurse, but a maker. She stopped being a nurse when she started having kids, and she was a stay-at-home mom who did like so many handmade things. Like she reupholstered everything in the house. Like every chair was upholstered by her. All of the curtains are handmade by her in the whole house. And all of the stuff in the kitchen is all themed one way. And all of the like dish towels in the kitchen, there's an apron hanging in the kitchen that was hers. Like nothing has changed there. It's clean, but he doesn't change the decor from the way that she did it. He adds his stuff like to it, but like he didn't her apron is still hanging in the kitchen. No one has used it in 20 years, but it's still hanging there because that's where she hung it. And so it's kind of exciting for me to be in her space that I know was inspiring for her because she created so many things in that space. It's not like she left to go create things, or she was in that space and creative. So there is a creative flow in there. I just have to find it. And I'm sure I will because I will be seeking it out, but I'm kind of excited to have a connection to like that part of her, the part that makes things and creates things, because she passed away before I could really come into my own in terms of the way that I created stuff. I was more in the dirt digging for rocks or fishing, or like I was doing a lot of outside world at that time. and she taught me to sew, and I took sewing lessons while she was still alive, but I think that there's going to be I'm hoping that there's going to be a connection. Part of me is kind of like the witchy side of me is kind of hoping I'll feel something. But I think that even if I don't like feel the feeling of something more, I think that there will be a creative flow that I will tap into. I hope. It explains why your mom is the way she is, and you too. Yeah, definitely. Good. I think this will fill your heart and mind and enrich his life. I'm hoping. How's Alex feeling about the move and living with Grandpa? He's feeling okay about it. He's pretty neutral on things like this, so he's pretty okay. He hasn't really seemed, he hasn't said anything negative or given me any intonation, any feeling that he's uneasy about it. I think the only thing that we're both not worrying. Worrying makes it sound very negative. It's more about the where at what place and point does Alex have the freedom to ask or do things without having me as a mediator? Like it's like if we were just staying there for a weekend, Alex wouldn't have to have any real major conversations with my grandpa, you know what I mean? Like when we have Easter or Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever, it's kind of like Alex is Laura's partner. That is what Alex is. Whereas now my grandpa is going to get to know him as a human, like a separate human, and Alex is going to get to know my grandpa as a human, a separate human, not just Laura's grandpa. So I think there's a little bit of an unease around pecking order, a man thing. Yeah, well, I think simplifying it, sure, but I think it's more about just boundaries, knowing boundaries. Like he knows the boundaries with his grandma, he knows the boundaries with his dad, his mom, but like he doesn't know any boundaries with my grandpa. He's never had to have them. So it's just getting to, and I've never had to have them either, but I know him in a different way. You know what I mean? It's just it's just the adjustment is scary, but it's not, there's no real fear. It's just a change is scary. I think that's more where Alex and I are both at in it. It's not specifically what's happening, the specifics, it's the generic. So it's not that we're moving with my grandpa or anything about him specifically, it's more we're moving and that's scary. We're going to a new place and that's scary. We're living with someone where everything is already in a position. Like all the mugs already have a home. So we're not moving the dishes to a space that I or Alex might think makes more sense. Everything is organized the way it's been for 50 years. Like they've lived there a really long time. So like the idea that we're moving in somewhere that's fully furnished that we can't really make changes to, I think there's like this, where's the wiggle room? Are we going to be able to add a couple of our mugs to the shelf, or are we going to keep our mugs downstairs? Just like that sort of like the logistical questions that will only be answered by sorting through each one of them one by one. It's not like you can't answer all of them. And the questions will only come up once we're there because they're not really like a thing that you're going to think of ahead of time. So that kind of stuff. Be careful not to use Grandpa's favorite mug. There could be war. Well, my grandpa isn't like us in terms of his mug use. They have the mugs that my grandma and Grandpa had. Like they have the dish set. Literally the same dish set my mom grew up on. Like when I was a kid, the dishes that were there when I was a kid are still the dishes that are in use. All of them. Like there's still a set of 8 of everything. And I've gone there and I've washed the mugs and there's still 8. I just don't understand how after my mom's entire, like from the time my mom was like, I don't know, 12 maybe, until she moved out, which for her was a little early, but I mean still, until now, it's been the same dishes and none of them are broken. They're all in, and they're not made of metal or plastic. They're made of whatever plates are made of, and they're all there. So there's part of me that is like mortified that I'm going to be the one to break something. I am going to be the one to break something. I'm hoping it's not the dishes. But anyway, I have a set of 12 for over 30 years. I don't understand that. I have had a set, okay, well, Alex and I have had the same set since we moved in, so like 10 years. And we have, of the large plates, we had 8. Of the large plates, we have 2 left. Of the small plates, we had 8. We have 3 left. We had 4 until recently I broke it getting it out of the sink, trying to get it in the dishwasher. It broke in between somehow. So out of 16 plates, large and small, we have 5 left. So, and that was in 10 years. So I don't know. We don't have any of the mugs left. We had 8 mugs. 0 of the mugs are left. I have dropped all of them in 10 years. And what else have I broken from that set? It was just bowls. We have 3 bowls left out of the 8. So basically, I am a spaz with dishes. So we'll see how that goes. But I think most of the things that are going to happen are good. It's just the things that I'm nervous about. They're not going to be bad. It's just they're going to be transition-y, which puts it on the side of bad because change is hard for me. I don't like change. I don't like moving. I hate moving. I hate getting rid of things. It's hard for me. I mean, I know it's healthy to get rid of things and to clear and not have a huge amount of stuff. But wow. Well, if you ever come here, it'll be Chinette for you. What's Chinette? Chinette, like the, just give me a plastic tray. 2 of our plates recently were chipped. Thanks for reminding me I need to go order some replacements. Of course, when Alex and I bought our stuff, we bought very, like the thing that I thought was the most beautiful at the time. We worked at Canadian Tire, so I mean like they were from Canadian Tire, but it was a set of 4 and we had 2. Chinette? Is it like not China, basically? But anyway, it was a set of 4 and I bought one set of 4 and the other one was like half price or something. And they were the last 2 available in that colorway, and they just don't exist. There is no replacing them. They were trendy and now they are garbage. That being said, we're donating all of it, what's left. Chinette is a brand. Oh, okay, paper plates, thank you. Lol. Yes, use the paper plates when I come over, absolutely. But like, kind of. You know what my mom has now that I've been really, makes me, this is what I want to do when we move to our next place? She has a type of plate that is popular, and it's white and thin and light. What are they called? Corelle dishes. And when she first got them, I was like, so boring, white plates. Corelle is amazing. They're so light and all the plates fit in the dishwasher so perfectly. So I think when we move next, the next set of dishes is going to be Corelle. Corningware is the cookware, isn't it? I think it's Corelle. I'm a spastic individual. I think the plates are Corelle. Corelle plates. Are they white and skinny? Yeah, I think it's Corelle. But for an 18-piece set service for 6, it's $119. That's not the right one though, because that says it's ceramic. I don't think it's ceramic. Country Cottage dinner set. Oh, so cute! Country Cottage set. Of course it's for sale at Canadian Tire. Man, I say that I want a simple set of white dishes, and then I see dishes like, let me just show you this dish set that I just saw. Because as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, never mind. Look at how cute these are. Sorry. Look how cute they are. Flowers. Durable and light. Yeah, well, that's what I like. The idea of durable and light. And fit into the dishwasher really nice. So I think we're going to do Corelle next. Also because Corelle is very classical or classic. They're not trendy, they're classic. So they have like Scrappy where you're like, I have chips, I can just buy new ones. Corelle's like that. If you do break something, it's easy to find it again and buy it again from multiple vendors, as opposed to like the way I buy dishes, which is like, I like it. That's not the only way to do it. I can look for dishes that will be easy to replace, because as someone who breaks things, that will happen. They are also harder to break, which sounds super for me, because I can break anything. I can break anything. Although I haven't broken this tea cart. This is an antique tea cart. It used to belong to my grandma, and my grandpa gave it to my brother, and my brother didn't care about it. So my mom picked it up from him and gave it back to me. And I've used it as a sewing table. I've used it as just a regular table for decor, and I've just been storing it forever because it's beautiful and it's a tea cart, which is fun. And now it's moving back into that house where it lived for 40 years, and now it's gonna live back in the house again. There's a few things that my grandpa's given me that I'm like, lol, these are going back into his house. They were from his house and now they're going back in. Like all my Christmas decorations are hand-me-downs from my grandpa that were handmade by my grandma. So yeah, phew, I thought mine were no longer for sale on the Crate and Barrel site, but I found them. Plates added to cart. Individual plates? How much is an individual plate? I guess if you don't buy them often, like what's the problem? But like when I think about it, like replacing an individual plate for like, I don't know, 10 bucks, 11 bucks, how much does a plate cost? I've only ever bought sets for like $30, so I have no idea. But I think I'll do Corelle next. Corningware, I do have Corningware. I have Corningware for my, the things that go in the oven with the lid that's made of glass and clear. $5, very good. Full circle, totally, Dawn. But for my bakeware, I'm not going to be donating my, I think I have a couple of bakeware items that are like old, and I think that they are like very old, and I'm not going to get rid of them, but I think that I will donate most of my kitchen stuff. I'm at work right now. Hey V, nice to see you, but I just wanted to pop in, say hi, and have a great day. You too, V. Don't forget to like the video before you head out. But also, I'm glad you're here. Okay, let's see what those plates look like. Let me lurk your plates now, Scrappy. Ooh. Subtle grooves detail, porcelain glazed in fresh glossy hues. Dishwasher safe. It can be used in microwaves and warm ovens. Hand glazed porcelain. Designed by an individual person. Nice. Now I don't need to look at your dishes. Why am I doing this? What is happening to me? Let me just get rid of that so I'm not looking at that. Also, don't forget to like the video. Hi everyone, by the way, 31 likes, thank you. There's also replacements for limited. There's also replacements limited for dishware. Yeah, I have the gray and blue. Pretty. Yeah, mine are not replaceable. They're just not. They just need, I need new dishes. When we move, I need new dishes. Also, I need new dishes. I'm donating all of our cutlery. And while I was donating I was organizing it yesterday and I put it into a box for donating. And I realized, oh, I have a favorite spoon. I knew I had a favorite spoon, but I also have a favorite fork and a couple of favorite knives, and I'm not donating them. And I was like, it's just a spoon, Laura. I have a set of spoons, and there's one that is different somehow. And also, I have this thing that I do that is, don't do this. Don't do as I say, not as I do. Do not do this. When I go to a restaurant, if they give you a tiny fork for any reason, like if you're eating escargot, they give you a tiny fork, you're coming home with me, you know? Or if you give me a long, small spoon for a dessert, you're coming home with me. I don't know why, it's something that's wrong with me, and it's only for very small dishware. Small spoons and very small forks or long forks. I can't help it. I'll leave a bigger tip and I will take a fork or a knife, or a fork or a spoon. It's only been a fork or a spoon. Those are coming with me on our move. Why? Why, Laura? What will you need that tiny spoon for? I've only ever used it for measuring things because it's not functional as a spoon. It's very small, but I have a problem, and so I'm going to take that with me. A shrimp fork. I had a shrimp fork at a restaurant. It was the same restaurant that we had escargot at, because I was mad at Alex and he was taking me out for my birthday, so I got everything that I wanted to eat at this fancy restaurant, and that was a weird time. And I told him afterwards, I was like, I was mad when we got here, and he's like, that's okay. And I was like, I ordered a lot of food because I was mad. And he was like, I'm glad you ordered a lot of food. It's your birthday. I wanted you to have all the food you want. I was like, so back when we lived in Ottawa. Make sure to add those things to your wedding registry for all 30 people that are going to come to my wedding whenever it happens. Someday. Not to be morbid, but you may inherit a great deal of things. I love miniature things. Not rational. Not rational. Very not rational. Yeah, so honestly, after organizing the rooms that we were going to be in, Dawn, I had a day after that where my decision fatigue disappeared. So my grandpa, I told you guys, he collects things just like I do. Not anymore. He doesn't travel anymore, but he had a 10-year, 12-year period right after my grandma passed away where he went to every continent. And he went to every major, he went to all the 7 wonders of the world. He like went skydiving and bungee jumping and like held a huge fruit bat for some reason and collected taxidermy and had all this stuff sent back to his home. So there's tons of really cool stuff, but when you see it all in one space, you're like, it's a lot. It's a lot of things. There's a lot of wood carvings. There's a lot of stone carvings. There's a lot of shells, and it's beautiful. But when I was moving stuff from the rooms that we're going to be occupying, so gotta get going. Okay, bye, Scrappy. Have a good rest of your day. I have a bunch of random errands, and my mom and I are doing takeout lunch. That's awesome. Take care. Hope the move goes smooth. Thank you. You'll find out next week how smooth it went. There's only 9 of us here. Hi, everybody. But anyway, he's got all of this stuff, and although each item is a little bit of magic, like when you're looking at each individual item, it's amazing. When you see all of them together, it's like hard to tell. It's hard to see what is what, you know what I mean? So when we were moving all of the stuff that was in, there's a bedroom, sitting room, a bathroom, and an office. That's what we're gonna have. The sitting room we're turning into another office. So we have 2 offices, a bedroom and a bathroom. And we used, there's a lot of living rooms in this house. There's 4 living rooms for some reason in this house. Wait, 1, 2, 3. There's 5 living rooms in the house. Like sitting rooms. Like rooms with couches and art. There's 5 rooms that have that in the house. Along with 4 bedrooms. So that house has a lot of bedrooms. If you were to take everything out of the house and then go through the house, it has a lot of bedrooms, but the way it's organized right now is not bedrooms. There's a lot of sitting rooms. So we filled a full sitting room with boxes of decor, paintings and statues and sculptures and just art things. And when I was going through all of them, as I was putting them into boxes, labeling them for the room or what was in the box, I was thinking like, these things don't have the same emotional impact for me that they have for him. My stuff is the same way. Nobody sees my stuff and goes like, this is valuable. They're like, this is a lot of junk, right? So I was thinking about it, and it made me come home and look at all my stuff a little differently. So we did a huge load to the thrift store the following day, where I got rid of a whole lot of my items because I was like, oh, hi, Sid, good morning. I was looking at them and being like, I don't need this. And nobody else needs this, but I've been holding on to it because someday someone might need this, which is not a reason to hold on to something. If you don't need it and you don't like it and you don't want it, you don't need it. You don't have to have it. So I donated a ton of stuff. Whereas I was holding things, like there's certain things that I'm holding for myself / my future children / posterity, I guess. Like my journals, I don't need them. They don't do anything for me. I like having them. That's it. But like when I'm dead, they are worth nothing. There's nobody who's going to be like, I like looking through Laura's journals. They just don't matter. So like stuff like that where I was like, oh, I don't need these things. Everyone has great stuff and other people have a lot of junk. Definitely. So Dawn, I did end up getting rid of a lot of our stuff that way after going there. But yeah, I still have a lot of stuff. I don't know where that was going. I still have a lot of stuff. I was working on making an invoice template for selling soap to work. Cool. And lost track of all the time. Well, I'm glad you're here now. And also, for selling soap to work, are you going to sell your soap to your work? That's cool. That'd be cool. I found out I have soap making supplies. I mean, I knew I did, but I hadn't seen it in years. And now that soap making supplies are with my serger and my paint, because those things are all not used often. So that's where that's going. And I'm going to do, in my natural dye box, I'm going to do my stamp stuff there too. Most of my stuff that's getting packed is like supplies for crafting. Most of Alex's stuff is tools, like computer parts and power tools and computers and just stuff like his is like tech. All of his like stuff that would be labeled like Alex's office. All of the stuff that's labeled Laura's office is all craft supplies, which is exciting for me because opening them is going to be really fun because I packed them really fun. Like I can't wait to open my blankets and my yarn. Yarn is actually something I'm happy I sealed it up because now it's going to be a few days before I look at it again. And then when I look at it, I'm hoping I'll have like, you know, inspiration. Yeah, it's the kind of thing that I love to do from time to time, and we don't need nearly the amount of soap we already have from me messing around with the recipes. Yeah, how much soap does a family really use? Not that much. So I figure I might as well get some beer soap at the co-op. Get us some beer soap at the co-op. Totally beer soap. That sounds fun. Does it smell like, do you smell like beer? No, wait. You sent me some beer soap, didn't you? I think you sent me beer soap. Am I crazy? I might be crazy. I feel like I opened soap. I feel like, I don't know now. I think I'm going to do calendula this weekend. Ooh, cool. I have to do calendula. I have to do oil infusions when we move. Not yet. Oh, maybe it was mentioned. I've heard about your beer soap then. Wow, maybe I just like had a dream about it. I'm as punctual as you are, Laura. Okay, so it is something you've mentioned before. Okay, I'm not crazy. Okay, cool. But I have so much calendula that needs using. You mean trade soap for beer? No, beer soap. You use beer in the soap for some really good reason. I'm sure there's a good reason. But I need to do something with my calendula, and everybody has put a video up in the last week. Everybody I watch, all of the YouTubers I watch have put up videos on calendula salves. 4 different YouTubers that I watch put up 4 different videos on calendula salves. All pretty much the same recipe, but still, I was surprised that like that many people were making salves out of their calendula. It shouldn't be, because I'm watching that content for a reason, because I like it. I've been meaning to send you a care package for a while, but the summer got away from all of us. The summer, where did it go? Oh, where did it go? But anyway, I need to do something with my calendula, because I have like 7 or 8 jars of dried calendula now, and I think it would be a good thing to do to make it into something. A salve might be good, because everyone's making a salve. Maybe some chapstick. I might do some calendula chapstick. Doesn't that sound nice? Maybe like calendula mint. A little bit of a minty chapstick. I'm gonna need a chapstick. I already have a split lip right now, so you know. Such is life. Do you like how my dog is just shoving his face into me? It's just into the, like, how are you breathing, my dude? Where's your nose for breathing? It's like wrapped in blanket. There's stuff in the beer that's topically good for the skin. Cool. Beer is good for your skin. But I need to make something with my calendula. I need to dehydrate this mint today. I need to pack up the marigolds and calendula I dried yesterday. You use beer instead of water in the soap recipe. You just gotta make sure you freeze 60% of the total beer needed so it doesn't overheat when the lye is added. I remember doing lye soap. It does get very hot. We did it wrong when I did it with my friend. When we were living in Ottawa, we did it in this tiny apartment. You need good airflow. We poured the lye into the water. Don't do that. Then you get splashed. Then you get burned. We didn't have gloves on. Don't do that. If you're working with lye, be very careful. I didn't get hurt or anything. You could get hurt. You could get it in your eyeballs. And that's bad. You don't want lye in there. So, science. Sid, that's so cool. I had an artisan make me vanilla mint lip balm for me and my mom and nieces. So great. Vanilla mint. Vanilla mint is nice. I think that I'll probably do calendula mint because I have so much calendula. Do pour lye into the water. Oh, then we poured water into the lye. We did the wrong thing. I just know as soon as we did it, my friend was like, we did it wrong. You're not supposed to do this. This is dangerous, just so you know. And I was like, okay. Never pour water into the lye. That's what we did. It will explode. Well, it didn't explode, but it definitely wasn't the right way to do it. It was danger. There was a lot of quick reactions, because it's a reaction that occurs that makes the water get very hot very quickly. Yep, we did it backwards. Safety first, kids. Man, I don't know what I'm thinking about right now. I'm like all over the place in my head, because I'm supposed to be packing. Also, it got cold in here, which I don't like. There's so much stuff left in this house, you guys. Never pour water into lye. It will explode. If you are making soap, don't pour water into the lye. Thank you, Sid, for the safety. Well, at least it makes a nice boiling mess very fast. And yeah, it will spit at you. Yeah, it'll spit at you. It'll burn you in some way. Jeez, hugs, Laura. Thanks. Yeah, I'm a little overwhelmed. Thinking about all the stuff we still have left to do, I'm a little overwhelmed. It's gonna be okay. I know it's gonna be okay. I know I just have to move through this time. I can't avoid it. I can't put it off anymore. It's happening. So, what are you gonna do, you know? It's just what happens. Life happens. Life keeps happening. I'm just overwhelmed by it. But I'll be okay. We'll all be okay. And this is the last time you guys are gonna see this background. Are you sad? I'm a little sad. I think you're starting to go through the goodbye reality. Yeah, I think I just feel a little foggy today. You know? Like I just kind of looking around and being like, there's like a lot of stuff. It's your mind panicking and constricting the blood flow to the extremities. Great. Thanks, body. Appreciate you trying to make sure. Really? Trying to make sure that my core stays warm. Keeping my brain and my heart warm. And thunder, apparently. Jeez Louise. There's no further that you can go in. Your head is already as far in as it can go. Anyway. I think I might wrap it now. I know that there's still an hour left, but I literally don't have anything to talk about. I'm like, unless you guys have conversations you want to have, I have nothing left to say. My house is a mess. That is what I have. A full mess. That was hilarious, Thunder. He's like just trying to shove his face as far in. Are your eyes even open? Not really. You comfy? Oh, I'm so sorry. Did I just wake you up? Anyway, I only care that we see your face. Background is meh. Well, you will see my face. Hopefully, I'll be back on Monday. You should do a walkthrough with us. I've been doing a bunch of filming, so there will be a video. I don't think I'll do a live though. The camera. Dawn, breathe. Honestly. But I'll be back. I will be back. I hope I'll be back on Monday. If we can get the internet sorted by Monday, I'll be back. If we can't get the internet sorted by Monday, I'll be back on Wednesday, but I will post everywhere so that you are not waiting on Monday and then having me not show up. Sorry. I'll be a bit busy, you know. Yes, Candace. But I'll see you Wednesday. So we'll know how everything went by then. But anyway, I'm going to go because I'm going to go clean and pack and look at all my stuff. But I'm gonna see you. A walk through Grandpa's house? I don't know about a walk through Grandpa's house. Probably just through, I'll show you the spaces that we're in. Just privacy. But yeah, I'm gonna go now. Because I am feeling kind of spaced out. So I think I'm gonna go have a cup of tea, regroup, and then pack a box. That'll probably make me feel better. Maybe I'll do a little walk outside. But I will see you guys next week, and we won't be here anymore. This is the last time you see this background. So I hope you enjoyed it while we've been here. Make that moving video as well. Yeah, I think so too, Candace. There's a few things I want to put in the video, like Alex carrying me out of the house, because our last moving video, he carried me in when we were moving in. So anyway, I'm going to go. It's been a really good time in this place. I really hope that you guys enjoyed seeing it as much as I did, as much as I enjoyed living here. I love you guys, and let's start a whole new chapter next week, huh? Big transition chapter where we're leaving all of this behind for a whole new adventure. So, wow, it's been a bit. I love you guys. Thank you for coming. Don't forget to like the video before you head out, and I hope I'll see you again on Monday. See ya. Okay, love you, bye. Thank you to all of my patrons who've been supporting me on Patreon. If you're not supporting me on Patreon and you would like to, the link is in the description, and I will see you next time.